And I do want to get into some of the success that the Celtics had this year, because it was a good season. Yeah, maybe it wasn't last year's team, but the Celtics season officially begins on Sunday, and that's where we start tonight with the opening take, brought to you by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Opening take brought to you by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. The Celtics season officially begins on Sunday. They finished the year with 61 wins while defending a title. It's rare and it's impressive. You're going to hear me say the word impressive a few times tonight regarding the Celtics. In fact, the 61 wins are the most by a reigning champion since the Golden State Warriors won 73 games back in 15-16. So of the last 15 NBA champions, the Heat in 2012-13 and the Warriors in 15-16 reached 60 wins while defending a title. Guess what? Both made it back to the finals the next year. That's where I see the Celtics going. The Celtics are playing their best basketball right now at the right time of the season. Did they struggle at one point? Absolutely. They went 13-11 from December 7th to January 27th. They had an up and down December and January that lasted 51 days. There was a lot of talk then about the Celtics because I got the receipts. I got them. The talk was they weren't the same team. The chemistry's off. Porzingis isn't fitting in coming back from injury. I remember the narratives. Oh, there's too many three-point shots. They're going to lose because of Missoula ball and their philosophy. I remember the comments. How about Jason Tatum's not clutch or the team is not clutch? I remember. Those things were said for 51 days. It was the only time this year you could actually talk about the Celtics, because besides that, they have broken records. The reality is, yes, they're not last year's teams. They weren't. They weren't the team either that we saw around the holidays. I mean, you had to expect, right, that they'd have some sort of difficult stretch at some point. They had 33 different lineups this season. So if you want to push back that, hey, Joe, that little skid that you're talking about, those 51 days where they went 13-11, did it cost them the number one seed? Sure. They fell from 3 games back from Cleveland to get the number one seed. Do you know what else they did? They went on to finish 29-6. And I'm just reminding everybody, because you probably said, I'll watch the Celtics when we get to the playoffs. So here we are. They broke records. You want to hear the records? 1,457 made threes. It was an NBA record. Oh, but they shoot too many threes. They broke the record that they beat a year ago. And they had, in Joe Mazzulla's era, by the way, this is why I call it Missoula ball, 3 of the top 5 single-season three-point totals are Joe Mazzulla at coach. Last year, they ranked 3rd. The year before that, they were 5th. They won it this year. Not to mention the Boston 3 party, right? Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Jason Tatum became the first trio in NBA history to make 253s in a season. They broke the previous record from that Isaiah Thomas team from 16-17. They set new league records with 17.8 threes made per game, beating the NBA record from the Jazz back in 2020. They broke the volume for attempts per game, 48, which you guys think are too many. They broke the Rockets record of 45 from years ago. They made 402 more threes than any opponent. They have a 1,206-point advantage from the perimeter this year. They went 54-11 when they made more threes than the opponent. Joe Mathskaz, 83%. Don't tell me you don't like Missoula ball and that it's not successful when they win 83% of the time. I like those percentages. 83% is very good. Do I need to explain that, or can you just go by the numbers, the facts? Want more facts? Clutch. Remember clutch, Skaz? The Celtics clutch. Jason Tatum's not clutch. The Celtics were 24-11 this year in clutch situations. For those that don't know what clutch situations are, the final 5 minutes or fourth quarter or overtime when the score is within 5 points. Do you know what that percentage was? 69%. Nice. It led the NBA In any of those tough clutch situations, they were the number one team. They shot 48% from the field, third best, 38%, sixth best in clutch situations. Should I mention the road wins? 33 road wins, tied for second most all time. They tied the Bulls from 95-96. The Celtics were impressive. They were impressive this year. They won all these games on the road, by the way, the double digits. 69% of the games they won by double digits on the road. Their scoring differential on the road, 9.4. Oklahoma City was the only team the Celtics didn't beat this season. Last year, the only team they didn't beat, Denver. The numbers show you what we're watching here is historic. The Celtics are impressive. Winning one championship and breaking records the next year is also impressive. They have a chance now to be more than impressive. It's hard to repeat in the NBA. The pressure is added with new ownership, the potential of breaking up the group, not to mention Jaylen Brown isn't 100%. The path may be harder, but is it really? Orlando, Atlanta, the Knicks, Pistons maybe. Cleveland, they backed into the playoffs, and the Pacers want to get back there. The reality is this. It's not the path. It's not the philosophy. It's not being clutch. It's the fact that winning back-to-back is hard. Winning multiple championships is hard. But winning consecutive championships or winning two elevates a team's legacy. Winning consecutive crowns pushes teams into a different echelon. It's something Paul Pierce couldn't do, or Kevin Garnett, or Ray Allen, or Rondo. Winning back-to-back championships is something Larry Bird couldn't do. Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, they couldn't do it. It hasn't been since Bill Russell and the 1969 Celtics to do it here in this city. And you're watching the documentary, I'm sure, which airs tonight. This Celtic City documentary highlights the history of the Celtics. What better way for this group that has broken franchise and NBA records to win back-to-back, to win two? When you talk about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, if they can win multiple championships, they pass Paul Pierce. They pass Kevin Garnett. They're young. They're hungry. They could do this for years to come if ownership allows it. The Celtics, to me, are embracing the opportunity. And I'm betting on the fact that they're going back. I said it when they won last year. I'm doubling down. Celtics are embracing the opportunity. They broke every record. They didn't miss a beat in the regular season this year. They did everything by steps. They didn't miss a step. The road to Banner 19 begins on Sunday versus Orlando or Atlanta. We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. I do want to get into the Jaylen Brown stuff. Jaylen Brown might not be healthy. Are you concerned? I'm not. We'll get into that coming up here on the other side. We'll get Skaz's thoughts as well. We got a full show tonight. What's up to our friends over on YouTube tonight? Just go to youtube.com/985 The Sports Hub. We got our intern Trent here tonight as well. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray.
All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Full show tonight. Skaz here. Intern Trent's here. And you are all here. I see guys in chat already. Everyone's ready to go. And, well, here I am. Myself, Skaz, we're going to be here for the whole Celtics playoff run. It's going to be a long one. I mean, it's funny, Skaz. Today I went back. I tried to get some clips from the championship night where it was myself and Cerrone. We were on late night from the Garden. I was looking for me literally after they just won the championship saying that they're going to repeat. Like I didn't let it settle that they just won a championship for the first time in years. I basically just went into repeat mode. And I feel that anything but a championship for this group this year is a failure. I stand by that. But I also want to say how impressive that they were, because it's hard to repeat. It's hard. How about this? It's hard to win a championship and then still be one of the best and still break records. And that's what they did. 61 wins defending a championship. It's rare. It is. And I mentioned of the teams that have won championships and won 60 the next year, they went back to the finals the next season. So I'm just going by, I don't know, history, trends, facts. And the Celtics are playing their best ball. I don't know. Is 1,157 made threes good, Skaz? Because it was a record. So is it impressive to you? Because it was impressive to me. I also thought in clutch they were very good. And I don't know, 33 road wins in a season where they maybe did kind of have some lapses at home after a long road trip. Overall, I want to credit the team for winning 61 games after winning a championship because it was impressive to me. And I don't know, maybe we are watching history here and some people might be taking it for granted.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think that it was an impressive season. I think before the season, there were a lot of people, myself included, that were of the belief they were going to win, 55 to 58 games maybe, and that they were going to kind of be much more focused on health this year. And I think they were able to do that, but they also, guys like Pritchard stepped up, Hauser stepped up, Derek White, seemed to go to another level at times. And just the roster they have, they won 61 games. That's nothing to sneeze at, Joe. 3 teams in the NBA won 60 games this year. That's not something that happens often in the NBA. So I'm with you. I think they deserve a lot of credit for how they came out this year. And they've said numerous times during the season it's not a title defense. That season is done and over with.
Yep.
Where we're trying to win a new title. It has nothing to do with last year. So seems like the mentality is there, the level of play is there, and yeah, we'll find out next Sunday, what it all looks like.
One thing I wanted to give Gary Washburn from the Global credit about, he mentioned that, there's a lot of pressure to try to repeat as champions. And whenever you ask Missoula, he goes, well, we're all going to be dead soon. That was the way he handled things. And you mentioned Tatum on last year's team. It was last year's team, but the one thing I will say about the team is they didn't miss any steps. Besides Jaylen Brown not playing 65 games, Tatum was out there as much as he could. Porzingis they could have rested him more. They didn't. Horford, they gave him his time off. The way they handled the season, I know they had some struggles when they brought back the regular lineup, but how do you expect things to be so smooth? You couldn't. So I'll take 51 days and going 13-11. I'll take that. Around the holidays, by the way. So, besides that, I'm impressed. Was there one thing that impressed you? Because I mentioned all the things that they broke the three-point record. Maybe that's whatever. Three guys hitting 253s. That's impressive. By the way, Jason Tatum was the only forward in the league with 253s. That's impressive to me. The 33 road wins I thought was great. After, again, when they could have rested guys and back-to-backs, which they did. To me, it's the clutch wins, Skez. It's the clutch wins, because what do we hear? I mentioned, I put it, I let it off with this, but what do we hear? They shoot too many threes. The philosophy doesn't work. They're not clutch. They're going to get hurt. We've heard on all those things. So to me, I think going 24-11 in clutch situations is very good.
Joe, I would agree that that's very good. I would also say that I didn't know these, the people that are saying the Celtics are anti-clutch. I thought they were gone. I thought we were past that. They had the fewest blown leads in the league last season. You mentioned their clutch stats this season. This is a more mature Celtics team. They are clutch. I'm sorry if that offends. I'm sorry.
May I add a tweet that I received?
Yes, please. Joe.
This is a very interactive show. I hope people know
that. Of course, yes.
We take
very.
calls, 617-779-09. We're on YouTube, so we read the chat too, right? You can tweet at us, right? This is a very interactive show. A man named M. Dussault. Are you pretending Tatum is clutch? Not clutch at all. And their play is unwatchable. It's a game of horse. They just shoot threes, is what M. Dussault 77 said to me. So I said, dude, I could check you right now if you really want me to. And so he basically said, no, just watch the games. Tatum goes MIA in close, meaningful games. And then he'll drop 40 in a blowout. And Missoula is literally Bob Huggins 2.0.
I'm not sure this gentleman's ever watched the NBA or basketball in general before, maybe even at a park and rec level. Jason Tatum is clutch, Joe. I know this is – I can't believe we're still doing this.
We did do it. This is why I wonder if people are – this is why I want to talk about this right now.
Yeah.
I know that we'll get into the Masters and the Red Sox and the Patriots. The Celtics are the best team in town.
Some bad master stakes today, too, that we'll have to get to.
We do 24 hours or whatever, 12 months of Patriots talk. Why not talking about a team winning back-to-back, being, by the way, the first team since 1969 to do it here? And, I don't know, we praise all these one-time champions or
How about guys that don't even have championships?
That's what I mean.
Jimmy Butler gets lauded for his... I don't even know what, Joe. I couldn't even tell you because I have no idea why. But yes, there's a guy, Anthony Edwards, another guy. And Joe, I think this is what you're looking for.
Please give me the clutch numbers for Tatum because I got team numbers too if they need it.
Yes, Joe. This is a stat. This is not my opinion. This is not how I feel. This is a stat, a statistic, something tangible for people that say not clutch. Since shot tracking data began. In 1997.
97. Okay, that would be like Dick Lipe and guys like that who would keep this. Would they have a Lipe report the other night?
Yeah, Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights.
Like
that's
that.
awesome.
I'm in on that.
In.
So since shot tracking began in 1997, there have been 65 players to take at least 50 shots to tie or take the lead in the last 24 seconds.
So 65 players since 1997 have taken how many?
50 shots.
50 shots or more.
To tie or take the lead in the final 24 seconds of the fourth quarter and overtime. So I would say if you're a player that's getting 50 opportunities in those situations, you're an elite player. You're not getting 50 of those shots if you are a scrub. Jason Tatum is now, after his buzzer beater against the Knicks, 2 actually in that game, but 1 came in the third quarter. So guess what? We don't even count it, Joe.
Oh, we won't even count it? Okay, we won't count it, no.
Tatum is now 22 of 58 or 37.9%, 38%.
38, Joe Math.
Making him the second most efficient player of all time for the volume. So Dirk Nowitzki is 1.
Oh.
Jason Tatum is 2. Tim Duncan is 3.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving is in that top 5. Damian Lillard is in there at 10. Kawhi Leonard 12. Yes, Joe. So just strictly just a stat, not my opinion. I would say Jason Tatum, clutch confirmed.
That's just second. I mean, you said second all time.
All
right?
time.
All time.
All time.
So since 1997.
Very convenient for Michael Jordan that's when the data started. But yes.
Of 65 players, he's number 2.
Number 2. Guess what, Joe? I'd be happy to have that guy on my team.
Yeah. Ignorance to me is what did I call it? This is why I brought up the people who watched Cooper Flagg play one game the other night. And that he lost and missed the shot at the buzzer, thinks he sucks. Okay, I'm going to now go localize it back to the Celtics. When you say Tatum's not clutch, did you see him on the road in New York the other night, which we didn't even include?
That one is included.
Oh, no, you included that one.
End of fourth and overtime included. But just for context, Joe, because we operate in context. LeBron James, 58 of 199 or 29%. Kevin Durant, 49 of 161.
Oh,
or
he's so applauded. That guy.
30%.
Yeah.
How about everybody's favorite guy, Joe? Anthony Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony Edwards in the clutch. I'm sure that gentleman that tweeted you is a big fan
Is
of
he
Anthony
suspended
Edwards.
for the playoff game, or did it get rescinded?
No, it got rescinded.
Oh, it got rescinded. Oh, the league couldn't miss out on Anthony Edwards, huh? They rescinded his technical?
I think he would have missed Sunday's
But,
game.
let's get on Tatum for his technicals, though, right?
So, Joe, just for the people out there that Tatum not clutch, Anthony Edwards in those same exact scenarios is 2 for 23 or a resounding 8.7%. So there's your clutch king right there.
I would just like to tell you, this isn't green teaming.
No, these are just stats.
These are facts.
You may have a problem with the tone, but that's on you.
Well,
I'm just giving you the stats.
I was saying yesterday, because I worked in the morning yesterday, I tried to keep my decibel level low. At night, it gets a little louder. They're just facts. Again, they're the best three-point made team of all time. They're the highest clutch team of all time in a regular season. So does that matter? I don't know. They have the second most road wins, tying the Bulls of. We use stats with Michael Jordan included, right, or the end of the Jordan era. Just throwing Michael Jordan in there too. Sometimes, kind of, just to throw it in there.
Not sure Michael Jordan really loved basketball, though, Joe, because he left for a couple years. Can we take him seriously? Never won one without Pippen, Never won one without, He's kind of a choker to me.
Ooh. All right, Jaylen Brown, Ramona Shelbourne with a report this weekend. He received pain management injections. I mean, the only reason why I when I saw the report, I was like, well, don't we already know this? So I feel like it's a non-story, but here we are. There's nothing to talk about with the Celtics, right? Do you want me to continue to state facts that are good and that are impressive? Or should we really get into the reports about his knee? Because I think we know his knee isn't good. Jaylen Brown, I think, has been at least transparent about it. And when I hear Missoula talk about it, he's not even concerned. So should we be? Because I'm not, Skaz. I know what Jaylen Brown did last year. And some people think I'm slighting him when I say this, and maybe I am. But it took Jaylen Brown to play to his potential for them to win the championship. He did it, and they won. So if they want to take that as a slight, fine. Am I also wrong by saying I think they can win even if he's 75%?
I think the only way they can win without a fully healthy Jaylen is if Porzingis is fully healthy.
That's where I'm going with it.
Yeah, that's the kicker.
There is no. I dare someone to tell me that Kristaps Porzingis hasn't been the second best player in the Celtics in the second half of the year. Since I would say the last 3 months, Porzingis has been their best player. Now, did he miss time for a random sickness? Fine, but when he came back, he looked pretty good, right? The only time he looked weird was when he was sick, literally. Jaylen Brown hasn't played more than 30 minutes in the last 8 games. So maybe there's a level of concern there for some people. Maybe it's the structural issue. I don't care. It's pain management. It's the playoffs. You have all offseason to figure out what you want to do, right? Where maybe it could hurt. There are times, Skaz, where they had a better offensive rating without Jaylen Brown on the court. I just want to state facts. They were a better offense at times without Jaylen on the court, especially late in games. Where do I think it could hurt them? Their defensive rating. Joe Mazzulla was, this is the first time I think he was just outside of the top 3 in defensive rating. They fell to 4th this year. There were some inconsistencies. But opponents had 107 points per game against them. It was the second lowest mark in the league. Opponents shot 45% against them. 34% from 3. They held their opponents under 100 points 15 times this year. They finished 5th in NBA in blocks. So I just could it hurt? Could Jaylen Brown's presence hurt that defensive number? I do. I think it can if he's not 100%. So that's maybe where I have some concerns. And I want to ask Brian Robb this because we're going to talk to him later. Do you think the double big comes into effect if Jaylen's not there late in games? Remember how we asked the question, hey, late in games, who's the guy off the floor? Could it be Jaylen Brown? Does that make the Celtics a better team? That's where I could probably bring up that could be a concern. But, hey, who's the guy who will be in? It's Al Horford. How more dependable is that guy? Like, your fallback plan is a guy that's done it. I know he's a big, but he's done it. Anyways, Path Talk, Orlando, Atlanta. Are we going there? Do you want to do that? Are we going to do the Path? Are we going to do the Path?
There was a lot of Path Talk last year.
Are we going to do the Path?
I'm out on the Path Talk. You play who you play.
I think it's going to be Detroit because I think the New York Knicks right now are literally...
You've already fired the coach,
I've
Joe.
already fired him. Mike Malone's the new coach of the New York Knicks. It's happened already. That one, I'd get my popcorn for that one. But in the end, who's going to win? It's the Celtics. And you know what? I also think this, by the way. I think the Pacers get back to the Eastern Conference Final. So finishing second, I think, might help the Celtics this year. All right, 617-779-0985. I want to show the Celtics that I'm impressed by them. I want to show everybody because I think people did tune out. I think people thought they were too good. And to talk to me when we get to the playoffs, the Celtics have been awesome this year. Like literally broken NBA records and have a chance to do something that no team in this town has done since 1969. Like, that's impressive. We should be talking about it much more. We should be. Instead, we talk about who's going to be the fourth pick over and over and over and over when the Celtics have a chance to go back-to-back into 4 straight Eastern Conference Finals. 3 out of 4 Eastern Conference Finals in 4 years. Like, this should be the story from now until June. And it will be on the night show. That's for damn sure. 617-779-0985. I'm on fire. Let's go. Charlie's in Cranston. Charlie, what are you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey, sorry. So you got me all excited with the Celtics talk. As a Rhode Island native, very proud of Missoula Ball. And just the legacy, the family, the coaching, his dad. Huge, huge credit, and we're so proud of them. But I did call in because I was reading so much today about people discussing how Masters is not worth watching anymore after Rory completing this.
Did you see the ratings?
And that, yeah, viewership's down 28% because Tiger didn't play. I'm hearing all this stuff, but my gut feeling is the opposite, is that it just makes me love it more and want to watch like the next great story unfold and begin, and then the culmination of that. So just curious what your thoughts are, if you think the Masters viewership is going to fall off.
No. Nope. And I appreciate the call. I think this is a stepping stone now to what the next event will be. And now I want to know if Bryson DeChambeau and Rory actually talk. And I want to, Scotty, well, how's he going to bounce back from it? And, is Rosie, is he going to, still be in this thing? We'll get into it, Skaz, because I know you watched this thing all weekend long.
Yeah, and just I don't know where that guy got his numbers from, but viewership was up 33% this year.
No, I know.
So massive numbers. He said the viewership went down.
Yesterday there was a report that people aren't watching. I was here yesterday. I saw it kicking around. I don't know who had it, but they were saying that they thought it was an opinion.
Yeah, those will get you in trouble.
Right? And I think I mentioned this before the Masters started, but there's no Tiger Woods in this thing, and it's like, I was glued. We'll get into it on the other. Me. I became like not a sport. This was a human event for me. That event was humanizing. Is that a word?
That's what sports is all about yesterday.
Well, yeah, like I don't feel that way like watching, the Florida Gators winning a championship.
No.
I didn't get that, or like
but this is one guy.
This was humanizing.
Yes.
I had my own I was in my I was emo. I was very emo yesterday. Mark is in Norwood. Hey, Mark.
Hey, great show. People are going to talk negative because that's what they do. I mean, you can't. Anybody that says that this team wasn't impressive or didn't have an impressive year, then they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, it's crazy. Because I go back to 1969. I don't like the style of play now, but if that's the style of play, you have a team that can excel at that. You'd be crazy to do anything differently. I mean, don't you agree with that?
I completely agree, and I appreciate your call. Listen, it's ignorance is all it is. People will watch every single Patriots game because it's weekly and they can invest their time into it. You know, people haven't watched the Red Sox in 4 years and still think guys are on the team, and they're still complaining about trades from 2020. Like, it's ignorance. It's all it is. It's just that people want to just, Tatum's not clutch. Yeah, have you watched a game? And this is why I'm doing this segment right now. The Celtics season starts on Sunday, everybody. It starts on Sunday. This is the place. If you want to watch the Celtics, talk about the Celtics, be educated about the Celtics, have analysis about the Celtics, non-bias. I know Skaz works for the Green Teamers, but when they're bad, we admit it. When they're good, I'm gonna hype them up. We should be talking about the Celtics now. I know we're not going to get hyped up for Orlando or Atlanta. We're not. But you know what? This team has a chance to do something that puts them on an upper echelon in this town. And I'm going to talk about it. I know Skaz is too. 617-779-0985. We'll have more on the Celtics. Oh, the Masters. I got in my feelings. We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Felger and Maz are just his pregame.
They've been getting wholesale deals for years.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hall.
There's not going to be much in this putt for McElroy.
Will the shadows be in his way?
No. The only problem is the nerves.
Yeah. Look at the long shadows. Symbolic at this moment of the journey it's taken to get here. For all this history.
The long journey is over. McElroy has his masterpiece.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. We're here until 11 o'clock tonight. Full show. We got in or out 1 hour from now. We got the musings at 9:50. And we're going straight until 11 o'clock tonight. You can call in at 617-779-0985. We're on YouTube as well. I'm just about to pop in there. I haven't popped in yet. Oh, we got our friends in there. Kenny, I don't know who he is. Brokerage Babe, Boston Concessions is in there. We got a lot. Oh, Prince Humperdinck, Russ Fox, all the crew. Ein Bein's in there, huh? Crying Watch. They're all in there. And you can join us as well. We got 100 people watching right now. We welcome everybody. And I just want to state one more time that if this will be the home of the Boston Celtics from now until the finals, we'll be here every night. We'll do coverage after the game. This is your spot. This is now Celtics season. But we just heard Rory McIlroy win the Masters and complete the Grand Slam. What a human experience. The emotions, the disbelief, the playoff emotions were running wild yesterday. I'm going to WrestleMania this week. I'm a huge wrestling fan, and there are these storylines that get you to root for either the face or the heel. And I found myself during the Masters rooting for Rory. I was almost in disbelief that he almost blew it. But should I have been in disbelief because of Rory blowing it? Now, did a lot of people, I don't want to use the word choke, but were there a lot of disappointing moments? Yeah. Were there a lot of fails? Absolutely. I think the term would be crap their pants. Pee down their leg is what some people say.
Yeah, welcome to golf. Have you ever watched a golf major before? I couldn't believe some of the stuff I was hearing today about people saying, guys were tight on Sunday and underperforming. Welcome to a golf major.
But isn't so okay.
People bitch constantly that these guys shoot 20 under every week and we want to watch them struggle.
But then how do these guys do when they go out when they're foursomes? Do they care what their score is?
And then you watch some guys struggle on Sunday at the best tournament in the world, and you're complaining that they're struggling.
Even the guy who won struggled.
Yes, it was incredible theater.
It was awesome. That's why I watch wrestling. Just so you know, the theater that you're talking about is why I watch. Even though it's scripted, right? It's predetermined. Excuse me. This wasn't. Not a lot of people, they thought Rory would be in the conversation, but there was always the disbelief with him, right? Oh, remember he choked at the U.S. Open. Remember he choked here. He's never going to win the Grand Slam. That's the story of Rory. That's the theater. Scotty Scheffler's there. Well, Justin Rose led all these days, and here comes Patrick Reed, right? Like it was... Oborg had a chance to win the damn thing, and he blew it. He crapped his pants.
He's making a habit of that, unfortunately, for young Ludwig. But yes, that's something to watch going forward.
For me, I know the guys. I know the names. I see them. I don't watch everything like you do, Skaz. The waste management. I like the social media part, casual fan part of golf. When there's a big event, I'm in. This was a big event. I was in on this one. If you want to know how awesome Sunday was, it really was. Like that Rose versus Rory shot to me, dude. When Rose Justin Rose, by the way, who was warming up while Rory could have just closed the thing out. I respect that. Like, he was still there working on his drive. And by the way, his drive was perfect, right? It just wasn't Rory. And for that one day, Rory was perfect in that situation. In a closeout situation, Rory failed a couple of times. But in a one-game playoff or a one-hole playoff, he was better than Rose. His shot was better than Rose. He made the putt when it mattered. And I use this term often, Skaz. I forget what show it was, but they one time said, hey, I don't care how you deliver the baby, just deliver the baby. I don't care how Rory McIlroy won. He won.
Yeah, Joe, I think that's kind of getting lost, too. I heard a lot of Tiger talk today, and the good old days of Jack and, how
they were closers.
Competition was tougher. They were closer. Yeah, Jack finished second 19 times in majors. That's the most ever. So does he get credit for always being up there and always being at the top of the leaderboard, or does he not close because he came in second 19 times? I have a feeling that some people on the station would depending on how they were feeling that day, would have maybe different thoughts on it depending on which way the wind was blowing. And then what's the most famous shot maybe in the history of golf, Joe?
You tell me.
The Tiger chip.
Oh, Tiger chip.
Where it comes all the way down.
Yeah, and then it rolls
Nike
down the
logo,
hill. Yep.
Sits on the cup and then falls in.
Yep.
That shot gave Tiger a 2-shot lead at the Masters with 2 holes to play. You know what happened the next 2 holes? Tiger went bogey, and Chris DeMarco missed a chip, and they went to a playoff, and Tiger won. Has anyone ever in the history of anything mentioned Tiger bogeying the next 2 holes and it going to a forced playoff?
Nope.
Never heard it mentioned once in my entire life.
All you know is that he had the greatest shot of all time and he won.
Yes. So 10 years from now, I don't think anyone's going to give a crap about Bryson shooting a 76 or whatever it was. It's another storyline that's fascinating coming out of this. So yes, welcome to golf, where the greatest guy to ever play the sport, Tiger Woods, won 22% of the time he ever stepped onto a golf course. These guys fail. That's why it's so interesting. The best in the world, that's why people love golf, because you can almost kind of sort of imagine the situation they're in. And I would rather be holding a live rattlesnake, Joe, than a putter on the 18th green of Augusta like Rory was yesterday. Like,
hold that thought.
That's how much pressure was on him.
Hold that one. Listen, we all face, to be real here, we all face life pressures, okay? Whether it's paying your bills, keeping your families together, your kids being fed. Like, I don't want to get real serious on you, but like this, we all face tough situations, and sometimes we fail. It's what happens, right? In the end, right? When you make it out of it, or you're just like, man, we went through all that, but we got through it. It's no different. Yesterday we did, is golf a sport or a game? And I know, guys, right?
Who cares?
No. But like in the end, like there is one winner. So I won't think about Rory hitting into the drink on 13.
One of the worst shots you'll ever see in your life.
I won't look back on his fail on the 18th hole. I don't care about his double bogeys in the first round, right? I don't care about his 66, 66, 73. I don't care. All I will remember is Rory winning the Grand Slam at the Masters. And to use a quote from Jason Tatum to localize it, Rory said it best. What are they going to say now?
What are we going to talk about next year? I think was his quote directly after.
What's the difference between what Tatum said and what Rory said?
Yeah, I think we did a little of this in Slack earlier, but I think Rory may have had the most pressure on him of any athlete in my lifetime yesterday. And you want to say the 2016 Cubs, the 2004 Red Sox, all those things, I would say, sure, tons of pressure, but it's a team. There are numerous guys that you can rely on. This is one guy. His legacy was on the line yesterday. His place in golf history, sports history, just history. First European to ever win the Grand Slam. He cemented himself among the greats, rightfully so. I thought yesterday was one of the better sporting events I've ever watched.
Yeah, and listen, for those who don't know the story of Rory, I remember him as the curly-haired kid, right? And the kid from Ireland, and what his family did for him, and I think that the announcers did a great job, Jim Nantz, etc. This guy, it's so funny. The photo that I did yesterday before the show is I had a picture of Rory choking. Everyone said don't bet the mortgage against this guy. For the people who hung in there, like this is life. Forget about the game of golf. There was pressure on the line. He failed. When he got the second chance, he achieved. I am a Rory McIlroy fan because of that now.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I was not a Rory guy. I wouldn't say I was,
remember the whole live him and his talk and everything?
I was 100% team Rory in that. Live is a joke. More evidence of that this weekend. Bryce in the tournament is 4 rounds, not 3. Just so you know, you got to play that 4th one as well. But yeah, Rory, he was a petulant child at times, outbursts, but all of that is just part of the story. And I found myself really rooting for Rory yesterday. And I've never been a big Rory guy. Buddies texting me that, the diehard Rory fans living and dying on every putt. And I thought that was just to see a guy let the emotions get to him after he hit the putt on 18. That's as raw as it gets. That's why you watch.
All right, I got a lot on this one. The putt. Is there a new rivalry in golf? The worst ball, best ball of the day. I got a lot. We'll do more Masters stuff. Just to kind of set you up, we're going to talk to Doug Kyed from the Herald coming up in a little bit. We'll talk to Brian Robb of the Celtics later on tonight. In or out musings. We got a full show. I know I'm running a little late right now, but you know what? It's the first full show we've had in a long time, and there's a lot to talk about. And this hour of the Sports Hub has been brought to you by Valvoline and Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your next drive-through oil change. And Valvoline and Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. We'll look at the draft 10 days away and some other Patriot stuff coming up next. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
HD Plus 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Beasley Media Group station.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox trail 10-1, bottom of the third inning. Tanner Houck, 2 1/3, 10 runs, 8 earned, 2 home runs. Out. Christian Campbell homered, though. Celtics will begin the playoffs on Sunday versus Orlando or Atlanta. Mike Budenholzer fired. Joe Dumars may take over in New Orleans. Headlines, they are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com to save 15% off your next draft to oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Joe Murray. Next update soon.
Some people play the game.
Hey, Jaylen Brown.
Blocked by Horford.
Some talk about
Let's
it.
welcome to the Sports Hub Celtics show, by the way. Jim Murray, Chris Gasper.
The Sports Hub Celtics Show with Murray and Gasper. Saturdays at noon on the Sports Hub.
Patriots, 10 days away from the draft. A couple of things I wanted to bring up quickly. I thought this was important. There's been a lot of reports about Shedeur Sanders probably not going to go to 3 to the Giants. And the Patriots are eventually going to get somebody else besides Carter or Hunter. Tom Pelissero, within the last hour, Giants plan to work out Shedeur Sanders privately on Thursday. So keep that in mind. But the Patriots are making clear their main priority is protecting Drake May. They devoted more coaching resources, this all according to Mike Reese of ESPN. They've devoted more resources to the offensive line, and a premium draft pick could address those needs. Top need is left tackle and potentially a guard. He also mentions there's 3 O-line coaches now. Obviously, Doug Marrone is the lead guy, but the Patriots allowed a league worst 39% of their dropbacks last season pressure. They ranked 31st in pass block win rate. The year after, they were the worst in the league. So it could come down to Will Campbell from LSU. Again, if none of the other players are available, like Carter, Hunter, or who's the other guy I'm missing here? Anyways, Carter or Hunter. So in the pre-draft workouts, they liked him. They consider him a Mike Vrabel player. But it also does set up a pretty compelling day. Like, I think we have something interesting here. Do they go after the best player available, such as Hunter or Carter, who, by the way, Abdul Carter was here today for his workout. We'll talk to Doug Kyed about it coming up in a little bit. But I think this is compelling. Like, I think there is something here. Mike Reese is indicating that they're at least fine with Will Campbell. And I mentioned Carter's here today. He's already met with Mike Vrabel before. There's a 31% chance he'll be there at 4. Mike Smith, who's the linebackers coach, says he loves his approach. They met at the Combine, only saw positive things about him. Just wanted to bring up the fact that the Patriots have really invested in Drake May. Like, that's their number one concern now after they've gone through free agency. So 10 days away from the draft. Anything else you see here, Skaz? Because I was reading the quick hits from over the weekend. Mike Reese posts his thoughts every week. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is there were these numbers for Stephon Diggs. When it comes to, like, sideline throws, he's one of the best in the catches. He's one of the best in the league. But he was second in the league to Amari Cooper in touchdowns in that category, meaning sideline short throws. So the Stephon Diggs thing, he's looking good to me. I've been watching his workouts every day. Like, I don't know if he's going to be ready, but he looks good to me. But if Mike Reese is telling us that they're fine with Will Campbell, if Carter and Hunter are off the board, I think it's Will Campbell.
Yeah, that's. I've kind of resigned myself to that, Joe. I think it's going to be Will Campbell. I'd be honestly kind of surprised if it wasn't Will Campbell at this point, just from all the reports, and it seems like it's heading in that direction. I still don't hate the idea of trading back, but I think they want to make that pick at 4, and if Will Campbell's the guy, I guess you gotta trust him. It doesn't seem like a very consensus top tackle, but I think Hunter and Hunter are both gone. So I don't think you're getting either of Hunter or Abdul Carter at 4. So I would trade back if you're asking me, but I think they take Campbell at 4.
I think I'd be fine with it. I just think of the history of the number 4 overall pick in town. Like, I don't put Will Campbell in Trent Williams category. I don't do that. Like, So, again, I said this weeks ago. We're about a week and a half away from the draft, 10 days. We're going to care about that win at the end of the year if Hunter and Carter aren't available. Would you draft Carter if he's there at 4?
Yes.
Me too. So they really like this Jaylen kid. And a lot of good things about him. I know Vrabel knows him very well. I think he's in contention. But the resources that they have put into to Drake May, I feel like it's going to have to be Will Campbell. And if Mike Reese said it, well, there you go. Sounds like it's almost all but official. But yeah, Giants plan to work out Shedeur Sanders privately on Thursday. Let's go back to the phones here. We're going to talk to Doug Kyed in a minute. Justin, what's up, Justin?
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
It's Justin.
How you doing?
I'm all in on. How you doing, Joe?
Good.
I'm all in on the Celtics. And you know what? I said this to you over the weekend. I don't care about numbers. I care about what I see on the court. And so those people who want to say that Jason Tatum's not clutch, they're wrong. Because Jason Tatum in that game against New York to force overtime, did everybody see that game? I just want to ask the question to everybody. Does anybody see that game?
Oh, I saw it, Justin. Yeah, that's my whole point. Is like, these are the people that aren't watching. These are the people that from afar just say, the game's boring and they shoot too many threes, brah. Because they don't watch. But we're watching. We'll be watching all the way to the NBA Finals. So it looks like the WNBA draft is on right now, Skaz. I didn't have this on my bingo card tonight. Was Paige Bucher number 1? Probably, right? Georgia Amori just got drafted. Man, WNBA draft one week and then the NFL draft the next. Do you think they're working out all their, testing out all their stuff tonight for the draft next week? By the way, WNBA cards really big right now for those that are collectors in the business. Oh, yes, guys, I was out and about this weekend, man. They were, people were like, hey, that's Skaz on that Parcells stuff. Like, I know, man. I didn't dismiss it.
Just facts.
I actually I kind of like that everyone's in an uproar about it. But if your take is shouldn't be in the Patriots Hall of Fame, the Patriots fans have not allowed him in the Hall of Fame. So you're not wrong.
Thank you.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. How many things I say that are probably wrong, but you don't tell me I'm wrong? I'm not going to do that to you. The Adam Vinatieri thing, though. Ooh, I don't know if I can listen to anybody shed any kind of.
People are disparaging Adam Vinatieri?
Oh, if they are, I can't have that here.
I can't have that either, Joe.
Nope.
I wouldn't let you slander Brandon Bass. No way am I going to let Adam Vinatieri get slandered.
Whoa, Patriots stiffs, huh? Do you think we could do a Patriots stiff list? Not tonight. Maybe on my way to Vegas, I'll do that for 6 hours on a plane. I'll just write down stiffs that played for the Patriots. Sure, we can have some fun with that. Hey, we're going to talk to Doug Kyed. Covers the Patriots for the Boston Herald. He's got a big event this weekend as well. We'll pump that up. We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray.
All pumped up for it. Let's go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline right now. And we will welcome in Doug Kyed. He is of the Boston Herald, and he's got a big event, I know, this Thursday, in Weymouth. We'll get into that, Doug, because I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm sorry I can't be there, but I know you got a big drought party this week, right? Pretty big?
Yeah, big draft party there in Weymouth at Vitamin C Brewing. Figured you wouldn't be able to go anyway because it's during your show, but hearing you're in Vegas, that's a better excuse, I think, actually.
Well,
yeah.
I like the fact that you thought of me. You were like, you know what, Joe, you work nights, you're not going to be there. Because I know you got some friends of ours that will be there as well. So, but I want to pump it up because it's at Vitamin C Brewing in Weymouth. And you got some really nice, some things and raffles going on over there.
Yeah, for sure. We got a Mike Vrabel signed football, David Pasternak jersey. We got Red Sox tickets, golf foursome. We got more. It's going to be a great event. All proceeds go to my Leukemia and Lymphoma Society campaign. We're raising $100,000 for LLS. So ticket sales go to that, auction items, raffle items, everything goes to our LLS campaign. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We got Jeff Howe coming out, Mark Daniels, Fitzy. We got Andrew Callahan. We got Michael Hurley coming out. We should have some other special guests there. So should be a really fun time.
Awesome, man. And all proceeds go to Doug Kyed's Leukemia and Lymphoma Society fundraiser, of course, in memory of your daughter, Hallie, which, of course, is a great event, man. And we'll pump that up before we get out of here. But we're 10 days away, man. What's your feelings? I'm reading reports that, well, if Carter or Hunter aren't available, it's Will Campbell. I read from Mike Reese yesterday that, well, they really beefed up their offensive line coaching with 3 coaches now there. And maybe now that free agency is over, their biggest concern is protecting Drake May. Would you agree that that's their approach heading into the draft?
Definitely seems that way. And, it's not an ideal year to have the number 4 overall pick, simply because it does seem like it's a 2-player heavy draft. But I think that does make things a little bit easier to just draft for need there at number 4 overall, because I don't think that Mason Graham is a significantly better player. I don't think that, Jalen Walker is a significantly better player than Will Campbell. So I think that if you're sitting there at 4 and you're saying all these guys are kind of flawed, there's not a perfect prospect here. Ted McMillan's not perfect. If all of these guys are clumped in the same area, you might as well just take Will Campbell. Might not be perfect, might not have the requisite arm length or the wingspan, but Mason Graham's undersized, Jalen Walker's undersized, Tedero McMillan's kind of slow. So at that point, if Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter are off the board, I think it does make the pick a little bit simple. That being said, though, I don't know if you've seen the recent reports that the Giants are sending out a whole contingent to privately work out Shadur Sanders. So the Giants sitting there at number 3 overall seems like they might not have their minds set on taking either Hunter or Carter there at number 3 overall. So that does change things quite a bit for the Patriots there, because I do think that if Hunter or Carter are there, then you have to go in that direction.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I was going to bring up. I don't know if you know much about what happened with Abdul Carter's meeting today. He was at Gillette. I think he was here last night, and they had him in today. I know that Mike Smith, the linebackers coach, wanted to talk to him, and him and Vrabel at least have had Carter said great things about Vrabel, how straightforward he was. I don't know if you heard anything today, but I'm sure they're interested, and I'm sure there's other defensive linemen that who are the guys we should be focusing on when it comes to the draft at 4?
Yeah, I think it is, Will Campbell, Armand Membu, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter. But no, I didn't hear too much about the visit today. But it was kind of interesting. I think a week ago, or maybe this week, came out where there's maybe some character concerns around Abdul Carter. I don't necessarily think the Patriots would keep away from him. I think they'd still probably take him there at number 4 overall if he's there, just because he is so talented, just because he is clearly one of the best players in the draft for the Patriots. But like I said, you're talking about Jalen Walker potentially being the number 4 overall pick. I think you feel a lot more comfortable about Abdul Carter there, just because he is a bigger player, 6'4", 250. Jalen Walker, really more of a specialized edge rusher probably at this point of his career coming out of the draft. And it's just, it's a lot of guys who've got flaws, to me personally, after Carter and Hunter. And even Carter and Hunter, those aren't perfect prospects by any means. But if you're picking a player at number 4 overall and one of those guys winds up being the pick, I think you have to come away feeling pretty good and saying to yourself, all right, one of those guys probably would still be a top 5 pick, and let's call it like a good draft. This is not a good draft. So if you don't get one of them, you might have to reach a little bit. If one of those guys drops to you, you're feeling good.
All right, talking with Doug Kyed of the Boston Herald. Doug, what else? I know we haven't caught up in a bit, but they had voluntary workouts last week, which Vrabel made sure that voluntarily he hoped everybody would show up. But what are you hearing, man? I know that Garrett Bradbury talked about Drake May. It's been pretty quiet over there, I got to say.
It has, yeah. Mike Vrabel's talking tomorrow, so we'll hear a little bit more from him tomorrow. But, we got a few guys last week. Everyone was saying all the right things about Mike Vrabel, about Drake May. But, I think that at this time last year, everyone was saying all the right things about Gerard Mayo. This year, you hope that you can take these guys a little bit more seriously about it, since Mike Vrabel has done this before. He's been there before. He knows what he's doing. He's able to kind of change things to be his way. But it sounded like they had started defensive install pretty early last week, but they were taking things a little bit slower on the offensive side, which I found a little bit interesting. And maybe that's just players not really wanting to let everyone know everything that's going on there. But they were saying they were talking a little more about terminology than they were installing the playbook, whereas it sounds like on defense, they were just getting going right away, which I don't know. I mean, Josh McDaniels' system hasn't always been the easiest for players to learn. So in some ways, it's probably a good thing that they're taking it slow. But I would say that if they feel the need to take it slow, maybe that's a little bit of a concern.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm glad that they started early, right? Last year, Mayo wanted to get things, take a week off. I was listening, and we're talking with Doug Kyed of the Boston Herald. I watch your Pat's Interference podcast. I'm a subscriber, so I'd suggest everyone else to subscribe on YouTube. But myself and Skaz really weren't the biggest Joe Milton fans. And I know that he won the final game of the season to help his stock, which I don't know if it really helped the Patriots by any means. But in your opinion, see, I'm a radio guy, so my narrative is that, he was just throwing a bone to Jerry Jones because of the whole Hall of Fame stuff. But this, to me, didn't feel like a football move. But do you think that maybe it had something to do with Josh McDaniels and the offense he's running?
I think that's got to be part of it, is that this is a new regime, and 31 teams passed on Joe Milton for 6 rounds last year. Like, the Patriots were the only team willing to take him. They took him in the 6th round. He was not highly thought of coming out of Tennessee. He was benched at Michigan, looked pretty good filling in his junior year, then wasn't that great in his senior season. Like, I wasn't shocked at the return that the Patriots got for him. Wasn't shocked that they only wound up getting a 5th-round pick, had to throw the 7th rounder in there. I know that some people have convinced Patriots fans that Joe Milton's going to be a starter and he was worth a 3rd-round pick and all that. But in the grand scheme of things, they wanted a veteran behind Drake May. They wanted someone who could teach them all the little things, point out all the little things they did wrong. And Joe Milton just wasn't at that point of his career and also wants to be a starter. So I think it was more about them saying, like, this isn't the greatest fit. And I haven't heard specifically what Josh McDaniels or Mike Vrabel or Ryan Cowden and all of these guys feel about Joe Milton, but just the fact that he was a 6th-round pick last year shows that the league wasn't very high on him. So I really wouldn't be surprised if those 3 guys weren't that high on him either. I know that, at the Combine, I was joking with someone in the front office, like, heard you guys could get a 3rd-round pick for Joe Milton, because that's what people had kind of thrown out there. And the reaction was laughter at that point. Like, they were realistic about it. They knew they weren't getting a 3rd or 4th-round pick for Joe Milton. All
right, so we heard it there. Laughter when it came to a 3rd-round pick or more. And if you want to look into it, most backups that have been traded, it's really been a 5th or a 6th-round pick, all of them. So, I mean, it's just consistent to – I just didn't think it was a football move, though. Like why are you moving on from a guy? Which is to my next question. Is it okay to speculate that Robert Kraft does have at least priorities when it comes to the Hall of Fame and allowing Bill Parcells where the fans didn't allow him in, and then just sends Joe Milton to Dallas to Jerry Jones, who is in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. I'm connecting some dots here. Do you think I'm crazy to think that?
It's a little crazy. I think the dots are a little far away. I personally wouldn't have gone there. I wouldn't have thought to go there. But that's why you're a radio host and I'm not. That's why they pay you the big bucks. Like my brain probably doesn't work that way. But I like the way you're thinking. I don't know. I would not say that, but it's an interesting thought. It's a fun thought, at least.
Yeah, that's why I always say it. Not a reporter. Doug Kyed, he's a reporter. I am not a reporter, but that's just one I was kind of I don't know. It just, to me, it didn't seem like a football move. Hey, I'm going to WrestleMania this week, man. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. I got to get your thoughts, man. What do you think? Cody Rhodes, John Cena, what you got?
I think it's got to be John Cena, right? I don't know who the favorite is. I think that, when Cody's held the belt for a whole year, you got to switch things up a little bit. Cena retiring, I think it's just, I think that's the interesting way to handle this, right? Or which way are you going on it?
I want the spinner belt back.
Hell yeah.
That's what I want. And I don't know, this is just crazy, but I think Jey Uso wins on night one. And because he's one of the biggest faces in the business, and then night two, he helps Cena and The Rock, and they form. So the two biggest faces in the company with The Rock.
I like that. No, I like that idea. Otherwise, I'm excited for it. It's kind of weird that it's on Easter this year, but I'll take it. It's something to do Easter night. And you're going out to Vegas for it, huh?
Yeah, I heard Tom Brady might be there.
Wow, interesting.
So if I see him, I'll FaceTime you. I'll be like, hey, Doug, I got Tom Brady with me. I don't know if he'll.
See, I kind of remember that guy. He asked me some dumb questions back in the day.
He was pretty good. By the way, people in our chat tonight were like, Doug Kyed. They were bringing up your Seattle days today.
That's right. I was born in Seattle. I'm actually currently wearing a Mariners hat. Mariners are hot right now. The Red Sox not so hot right now.
Not so hot. 14-1 at the moment. Not good. Hey, are you a Last of Us fan at all?
I am actually, but I haven't watched I watched it on my own when it came out originally. When was that, like 2023 or whatever? And I told my wife, we have to catch up on this before the new season. So we just started catching up, or she just started catching up a few days ago. So I'm behind. I'm trying to avoid spoilers on the first episode, but a huge fan of The Last of Us.
Okay, this isn't a spoiler. I just wanted to bring something up because you mentioned Seattle. A lot of Nirvana on the show.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Even the promo is the song "You Know You're Right."
Wow.
That was the hit. Was that the hidden? No, that was a left off song, right? And then,
I think so.
From years
the
ago.
B-side.
Yeah, and then they had another one last night. No spoiler, but they just a lot of Nirvana going on, and I'm trying to put it all together for some reason.
No, it's all there. I had a question for you actually too. You're a sports card guy, right?
Oh yeah.
I've been digging through all my old sports cards of the 80s and 90s. Whole lot of junk wax, which isn't ideal, but I've got a Brady rookie in there, got some Peyton Manning rookies in there. Might have to get some of these graded. I don't know. I know that it's an easier process now.
This is an easy plug because it's such a partnership. But the next time you're at Patriot Place, there's a place called Card Vault in there.
Yep.
You let me know when you're going, and I'll set you up with my guys.
Nice. Will do. I'll be down in Gillette tomorrow, so maybe maybe I'll hit you up when I'm down there.
You let me know, and I will connect you with the right people, and they will tell you to grade it or not. So there we go. By the way, I know you're going to have more memorabilia this week. Let everyone know how they can help support you in Weymouth this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to my Twitter. I've been promoting the heck out of this event, but it's Thursday night. Vitamin C Brewing in Weymouth. Like I said, we got David Pasternak jersey signed. We've got Mike Vrabel football signed. We got Red Sox tickets, golf foursome down at Pecoy Brook, 30-minute fantasy football advice Zoom with ESPN's Field Yates. That's an auction item. So check out my Twitter, Doug Kyed. I've been posting about that. And then also you can buy tickets for the event as well. Like I said, it could be at Vitamin C Brewing, but if you can't make it, you could still bid on the auction items, buy raffle tickets, but definitely encourage people to come out because it's going to be a great time.
All right, man. And I'm hoping that we're waiting on the Celtics schedule for the draft night. So if there isn't a Celtics game, maybe we'll be at Gillette. Maybe we won't be. So if I am, I'll let you know. You can come by after. We can
absolutely.
We can have some fun. So again, Doug Kyed from the Boston Herald. This Thursday night at Vitamin C Brewing in Weymouth. Is it Thursday night? What night are we talking here?
It is. Thursday night. Thursday, April 17th. Yep.
I saw the words free beer. I don't know why I saw that. So I don't know. I don't want to say that.
Got you distracted. Yeah.
I saw free beer and I'm like, whoa. I'll share this with our listeners. Doug, appreciate you, man. Love everything that you do, of course, and I love what you do with the Patriots as well. I'm going to text you because I just had a guy hit me up who wants to help out. So I'll shoot you a note, man. And good luck this weekend, man. We'll be pumping it up, and hopefully we'll see you maybe next week at the draft.
Yep, and have fun in Vegas. That'll be a great time.
You got it. He's Doug Kyed, everybody. Boston Herald. Appreciate you, Doug. We'll catch up soon. Thank you, sir. All right, he's gone. Go help out Doug, everyone. He lost his daughter, Hallie, at a young age, and he's continuing to donate to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So it's a fundraiser there, and if you want to get involved, I just retweeted the link if you want to help out. So we'll take a quick break. We'll get to the headlines here. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
14-1. That's the score. It wouldn't be a football score. It's a baseball score. We got in or out coming up in just a little bit. Rory shot a 73 yesterday, huh? 66 both days before. Only 2 players shot under par. Patrick Reed and was it Sung Jae In? While Scotty Scheffler, Jason Day, and Colin Morikawa were even for the day. What's the next big rivalry? Is it Rory DeChambeau? And the reason why I asked about DeChambeau is, I think I put it in Slack, but did you notice that when they asked DeChambeau about Rory, DeChambeau was like, he didn't talk to me all day.
Yeah, I think that's been wildly overblown. That's how it goes. When Tiger was paired with Tony in the final round in 18, I think it was, or 19, Tony, after Tiger won, said, yeah, I tried to talk to him on the first tee. I said, hey, how are the kids doing? He said, good. And that was the only thing they said to each other all day. So if you watch the Bryson thing, I can understand why people took it as he was miffed by it, but I didn't take it that way at all. I think he was literally just saying that Rory was that locked in.
I felt like it was superimposed. What I mean by superimposed was, oh, let's get this. Like, we just posted a social video on the Celtics repeat. We could really superimpose that as, Joe's basically saying that if Tatum wins back-to-back, it's he's better than Larry Bird. We could do that, right? Like, we could superimpose that into a clip.
I don't know if I'm co-signing that one, Joe, but yes. Yes, of course.
Capable, right?
Yes, we're capable.
Trent
liked that one.
Trent liked that one. No, for real, though. If I can just be real for a second, because this is about Rory. It's not about... But Tatum and Brown can do something that Larry Bird never did.
True.
So I just... As much as I'm not going there... 3 MVPs, blah, 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 3 championships. I'm not going there, okay? But we could if we really wanted. Joe said this. I feel like that's what happened with DeChambeau after. They went right up to him. He even talked. You know what DeChambeau talked about? He basically said, hey, even if I'm mentally not there, I know physically I can do it. Like, I thought he was great. I thought Justin Rose was fantastic. Like, ultimate pro.
10 birdies yesterday. It's insane.
But a pro, though, right?
A good guy, Justin
happy
Rose.
For him. Like, dapped him up before. Like,
those guys have probably played, like, not exaggerating, 500, maybe 1,000 rounds of golf together, too. So, I mean, Rose said it afterwards. He was like, I really wanted to be the villain today, but sometimes you just got to tip your cap.
And Shane Lowry was great.
That's his best friend.
Yeah, that was
Felger's
good.
golfing buddy. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I heard about that, yeah. The caddies were all loving it. They look at these two, the best man.
So, yes, Rory's caddy has gotten a lot of... And, look, if you're not a diehard golf fan, you don't care, and you've probably never heard it, but in the golf world, caddy talk is, when a guy can't close the deal and when he's the best golfer in the world for a long stretch like Rory has been off and on, caddy talk comes up, and people are like, well, he should get a pro on his bag. He shouldn't have his best friend.
That's true. Who's the one who did the tip? Remember the tip stuff? Remember there was a caddy got tipped out, not a lot.
That was Matt Kuchar because he's, an insufferable, so-and-so. But yes, Matt Kuchar won a tournament with a fill-in caddy and gave his caddy $5,000, which you say, wow, that's a lot of money. No, it's not for a caddy of, you usually get 10%, maybe more.
Said that I went back home to see my mom this weekend. Shout out, Mom. And I saw the George Wright because I drove, that's where I grew up. They must have done a lot of cutting down of trees because I could really see the George Wright. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just a big golf day, but I could see the greens yesterday. And I was saying to my mom, I was like, "Jeez, man, I wish a long time ago I just stayed being a caddy, man. Just think about like because you could make some dough." I
caddied in the Mass Am last year. Yeah,
told you,
not a bad gig.
Hustle golf balls out of the parking lot. Some guy would give us $50 for like 200 golf balls. We'd run right to McDonald's. Nope, not save. The money saved? No, McDonald's. Which I heard might have been used on the morning show today. Our chicken.
I was wondering when they were going to get to that.
Yeah.
Turnaround time. A couple weeks now for so much content on the night show.
I know. Street Team Joe brought it up to me. He asked if he could come in this week. I said, Viva Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas, Joe. Hey, he can still come in.
Mike's in Buffalo. Mike.
Yeah, this is mostly for Skaz. I know he's a big Red Sox fan like me for 70 years. Boy, they just have no pitching, and I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Their pitching is absolutely horrid. And I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't know how you feel about it, but I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs. So I'll listen to your answer.
Well, Skaz, you've been watching baseball for 70 years. You're a big Red Sox fan. What do you think?
Learned a lot about myself from that call, Joe. I appreciate the call, Mike, but yeah, I've been watching the Sox for 20 years-ish, 25 maybe. Not good tonight, Joe. Not good. Tanner Houck, bad. Out.
I'm going to take on that coming up in a bit. I've already workshopped it with Skaz. Got denied, but I'm going to double down on it.
I did not, Joe.
You did not deny it.
I did not deny your take.
You didn't agree with the take.
All takes are allowed.
No, but that's how I do it. This is what I do. I workshop takes, and if you don't like it, I'm like, how can I double down on it?
See, my problem wasn't that I didn't like it, Joe. I didn't like the line of thinking behind. I said, you basically stink if this is what you're doing. So I'm excited to get to that later in the show.
We'll save that. We got Hall of Fame talk. Adam Vinatieri spoke this week. There's a lot there. One more before we get to break, because I don't like leaving people on hold. But Frankie's in New Hampshire. Hey, Frankie.
Hey, Joe. First time, long time. Big fan of the show. I live up North Shore when I'm not in New Hampshire. I want to hear your favorite spot to eat on the North Shore, and I also want to hear your favorite card in your sports card collection. Thanks, man.
Well, I have a Chuck Norris 1-of-1 autograph that nobody wants, but everybody loves looking at it. I also have an Adam Vinatieri 1-of-1 immaculate, only one ever made. It's autographed, and I'm waiting for the Hall of Fame call so I can get it graded, and then maybe Adam Vinatieri can write HOF on it. So that's what I have. Where don't I eat on the North Shore? You know what? I don't. There's too many categories. I don't know where to start. You have to tweet at me at that one. In or out next here on the Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
In a row here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. We haven't done one in a while. I think Skaz has been hoarding them.
Yeah, I hoard them, and then, some of them lose their relevancy. Some of them we discuss in passing as time goes on. But, yeah, we got a decent list tonight, Joe. You're only in or out of the week.
That's right. This is my last show.
Of the week.
Before, really, yes. Because the Celtics begin on Sunday, right?
You'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah. Last full show until, really, the Celtics start. But just so you know, I have vacation time, and I'm using it. But I'm very dedicated to the Celtics run, as I stated tonight. All right, guys, enough about me. Somebody in chat said, in or out on jalapeno poppers, and then someone mentioned poopers, and I think I'm in on poopers, out on poppers. Anyways, what are we in or out on tonight, Skaz?
An unbelievable segue. Yes, Joe, a Monday night edition of In or Out. We'll start, as we've started numerous In or Outs over the last month or two. We're still getting ballpark foods sent to us, Joe. It happens almost daily for me. I'm sure it's very similar for you. But the Phillies have red velvet affogato at home games this season. It is made with red velvet cookies, vanilla ice cream, and espresso. Joe Murray, are you in or out on eating affogato at a baseball game?
That's too highbrow for... Listen, would I eat it? Yes. In.
I need a bathroom.
But, again...
You're having espresso and ice cream at the ballpark?
Looking at me. Look at that ball. Yes, that's me. I guess so. Sorry, I was going to do affogato. Remember Joe Espresso? We're going to the game. Gonna eat, yo. Get that affogato. Gonna bunt here. Take a single. Maybe throw a strike. Yeah. No! Affogato? Espresso? Out!
Yeah, I'm kind of out on this. I'm just not a messy food guy. For my very limited, 1 year of Italian, I think affogato literally means like drowning, to drown in something. So like, I'm out on that. That seems like a nightmare for the ballpark.
But like, this is in Philly?
Yes, this is the Philly animals like a little glass cups of espresso. I don't know.
Not for nothing. But I mean, like, why? Do you ever had a latte before?
No.
No, you know why you don't have a latte? Because it costs a latte. So, like, affogato? Do you think there's Red Sox fans? Is Trent going to have this at a Phillies game?
Our resident Philadelphia fan here, Phillies fan, says no, he's out on the affogato.
Too highbrow for me.
Too highbrow. Big hot dog guy, Trent says. Just give me a hot dog.
Yeah. Naked? Or do you like all the fixings on it? What about a street meat sausage?
Just ketchup. He says just ketchup.
I'm in on just ketchup. Me too. All right. What else we got?
All right, Joe. I know you're a man who has found yourself doom scrolling, I believe they call it, where you're scrolling, whether it's YouTube Shorts or TikTok, whatever it is.
I am Mr. Doom Scroll.
You get caught in a thing. Well, Joe, YouTube Shorts are going to release basically a doom scrolling buffer, where you're only limited a certain amount of YouTube Shorts in a day. Joe Murray, are you in or out?
I don't like that, but I'm in on it. You know why? Because there's certain things that I do look at. I'm trying to think of what it is. Isn't there like a... All right. Somebody else does this. I'm trying to think of what it is, but like you could watch like 11 in a row, and then it just goes to like a promo for like 3 minutes to the point where I stop scrolling. So, do I think it would be good for the world? Yes.
Yeah, so apparently this is coming from YouTube. It will be an Android app beta test at first. It will include a daily time limit for scrolling through YouTube Shorts.
Do you ever get that alert on your phone that tells you your weekly usage on your phone?
I have that. Shut off, Joe. I do not want to know my screen time. I am not interested. I know it's bad. It's how I live my life.
I think I told you this, but I shut off all the emergency alerts.
Yeah, that I'm not co-signing, Joe. I'm not co-signing that one.
Well, no, I just don't want... If the world's going to end, I don't need to know about it.
You don't need the false alarm that, Hawaii got.
Yeah, I don't need that. No, I really did. I shut that off.
A big earthquake out in
San Diego
County.
today?
I had a couple of buddies that were saying the house was shaking.
But yes, I shut that off because we got one once. And I don't know what happened, but it really bothered me. And so I said, how do I shut that off? And so I did.
Joe, we'll head to football for our next couple. Colorado announced that they will be retiring Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter's numbers. Joe Murray, are you in or out on colleges retiring numbers?
In this case, I'm out. But like Doug Flutie's numbers should be retired. Right? 22 BC, retired. Done. Who else? Vince Young should be retired at Texas.
Reggie Bush.
Is he?
I don't know. They gave his Heisman back, so.
I'm trying to think of other. Well, is Tom Brady's number 10 retired in Michigan?
Shouldn't be. He wasn't Tom Brady at Michigan.
It's true. What about Joe Burrow at LSU?
1 year though, right? 2 years.
2.
Yeah. Best season
what
ever.
About Peyton
so.
Manning at Tennessee?
No, he's got other things at Tennessee that I think would maybe make sure that doesn't happen. Some question marks.
Tebow at Florida?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, give it to Timmy.
All right. So we're kind of in, kind of out.
Yeah, I think maybe like I'd be more because college, like there's just so many guys on the roster that I feel like you need those numbers. Like you're going to run out of numbers if you do that. So maybe like a Ring of Honor thing or like, a Hall of Fame plaques or whatever. I think I'd be out on college numbers just because of it's just too many guys.
All right. Out. I'm out. Know what I like is in high school, whoever like the old stars were, if they wore a certain number, then the next star that was in line would wear that shirt. I always liked that.
All right, Joe, sticking with the NFL, Arizona Cardinals, guess you could kind of say legend, but Patrick Peterson announced his retirement today. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Patrick Peterson?
To look up some of the numbers there, but I think you could make an argument for a 10-year stretch. He was one of the best corners in football.
3-time first-team All-Pro. I'd say that's
8-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah. He was on the 2010s All-Decade team. That probably gets you in.
Oh, he's one of the LSU's top players that they've had. I mean, Singletary's probably next now, right? I think he is. I think he is a Hall of Famer. But what do people feel about a part-time wrestler being the champion and only showing up to like events like this?
I mean,
his ERA 27.0. That was against the. I apologize. It was against the Red Sox. He was a member of the Rangers. Kevin Kennedy was the manager of the Rangers. Just to be clear, for those who didn't hear what I said he pitched for the Red Sox. No, it was against the Red Sox for Texas. Don't at me. That's it. It's in or out. Hit the headline here. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports.
From the 10th Year Tire Studio, the Celtics begin the
Red Sox are losing. Celtics await the winner of Orlando-Atlanta. What else is going on in the world? Hey, the Giants are going to have a private workout with Shedeur Sanders, so that's still alive. Mike Budenholzer fired today. Griffin fired in New Orleans. Paige Bucher, number 1 to the Wings. Wings? Dallas Wings, huh? Like the Red Wings, but not. Are these wings not red? What are these wings? They're blue. Do you know that? The Blue Wings in Dallas. Or is it Dallas? Dallas. Is Dallas known for its wings? Why are they the Dallas Wings?
They were formerly the Tulsa Shock, I believe. Well, originally the Detroit Shock, then the Tulsa Shock, and then they became the Dallas Wings. I'm not exactly sure. I'd imagine it has something to do with Dallas being like a hub of I have no idea, Joe. I would like to speculate for you, but I don't have it. They were the Tulsa Shock, and they became the Dallas Wings. That's all I can recall.
Wings, Sky, Spark, Sun, Mystics, Valkyries. What the hell is going on there? Anyways, headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 50% off an extra through oil change and Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Joe Murray, and I'm so desperate for content, we're doing WNBA.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
We're awaiting the winner of that. And the first game will be on Sunday. So, Skaz, if we played the game, if game one is on Sunday, will it interfere with the NFL draft? That game. No, like if the Celtics play game one on Sunday, right? When's game two? Tuesday?
I would imagine Tuesday, and then you get the travel day. It would be Sunday, Tuesday, Friday. It was the hope, Joe. That is the hope. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm trying to speak it into existence.
Let's manifest it.
Manifest destiny, Joe, yes. Or they could maybe do like Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, or I would imagine, if I had to guess, my guess is Sunday, Tuesday, Friday, because they like maximizing those Friday, Saturday, Sunday windows. And then you
Boston
get
market on a Friday. Right? Oh, no, they'll be on the road.
They'll be on the road.
But still, you'll get the Boston market watching. Please. I want the NFL draft. I want a full show. I want that. Hoping for it. Manifesting it. Let's manifest with Brian Robb regarding the Celtics. We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
solid. His name is Brian Robb. He works over at Mass Live. He covers the Celtics, and he joins us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. B-Rob, how you doing, bud?
They're here, Joe. We made it. Made the playoffs after.
I had to remind all the listeners today that the season officially starts on Sunday. We're hoping Sunday.
Yes, it is. So it is Sunday.
Oh, so it's
we're
Sunday.
locked in for Sunday.
How do you think that's going to work out? Because we're looking ahead to the draft a little bit here. Do you think it would be
Sunday? I was just talking to Scaz about this off the air.
Yeah, Sunday, Tuesday, you think? And then Sunday, Tuesday, Friday?
Yeah, I think you guys will be okay if the Sunday starts, since in the first round they tend to really stretch out the series. And so with the Sunday start, it could either be, Sunday, Tuesday, or even Sunday, Wednesday, if they really want to stretch it. But either way, you're looking at, a day off or 2 days off probably in between the series, which would mean you guys would be good to go for Thursday night first round.
Need that.
No conflict.
Need that. Because it would take away from, you know what I mean? It would just give everybody a night.
It's a big night. You want to have that all smushed together in one night. You want to spread that out.
All right. Well, speaking of spreading it out, there was a report, Ramona Shelbourne, over the weekend. Jaylen Brown, he really hasn't played more than 30 minutes in the last 8 games. I think he's been pretty transparent about his knee. Joe Mazzulla has no concerns. Getting basically a pain management injection. It's like a cortisone or whatever for inflammation. Anything to worry about here, or is it pretty much what we've known for months?
It's what we've known for months. The fact that report, and Joe Mazzulla confirmed that he got that shot. So, like that, I imagine that was always the plan, that he was going to get this injection at some point, probably timed out well enough before the playoffs to give him hopefully enough of a runway to let it hopefully, do its job and recover. But to be honest, Joe, this is a big subplot here for the playoffs. It's like, what is Jaylen going to look like after 2 weeks off? Because he was putting up some decent numbers before those last 2 games he played, but he was on the minutes limit, and you can just tell he just wasn't himself moving around. And that's something where the Celtics don't need him at 100% against the Orlando Magic or the Atlanta Hawks. But when you get to the Cavs and, potentially the Thunder, whoever would come out of the West, like Jaylen Brown at, 70-80% may not cut it at that point. So how much this heals, how much this injection actually helps him along the way. And I think it's going to be a pretty big deal in terms of how quickly the Celtics can take care of business here in all these early series. We know that was an issue for them before last season. They really did the job last year, not going more than 5 games in any series. And that, I think, will be as important as ever now with Jaylen dealing with an injury like this, where probably the fewer miles you put on the tires, throughout the playoffs, the better for him.
So my feelings on it are, I think Kristaps Porzingis has been their second best player probably for the last 3 months. He's played at an elite level, shooting from outside. He's been a rim protector. He's really been doing everything. And late in fourth quarters, I think he's been taking over games. There was a game where he had 14 points in the fourth quarter, in some big games. So if Jaylen Brown is dealing with some knee injuries, do you think Mazzulla would go away from him late in games? And is there a chance you could see more of the double big with Horford and Porzingis?
I think it's a real possibility, particularly early on, because that double big lineup has just worked so well for them all season long. If you look at the numbers, Joe, like whether it's been Al and Porzingis or even, Cornette with either of those guys, Porzingis or Al, that's been great. They've been good offensively, good defensively with that group, and they've generally been better even than the starting 5, which is kind of wild considering how good that group was together last year. So, yeah, if Jaylen is not himself or clearly is like making himself worse there, then like Joe has an alternative if he needs to. I don't expect that to be a default option out of the gate, but I do think we're going to see a lot of double bigs in these games before crunch time. Because I think that's a situation where it takes some of the wear and tear off of Al and Porzingis when you don't have to have them playing center and being rim protectors all by themselves and rebounding all by themselves. You put two of them out there together, that adds a lot of size, and that's going to be useful against a team like Orlando, because that's the one thing they do well. If they win, they beat Atlanta, get that 70 there. Like, they have a ton of size in the interior, so going big against them is generally a good thing. So as opposed to last year, and Joe Mazzulla has a lot of options this year in terms of lineup flexibility, whether it's going to a big or even playing a guy like Peyton Pritchard in crunch time here or there throughout the season. So they have things they can go to if Jaylen isn't himself, but clearly the hope will certainly be for him to be good to go after getting a couple weeks off.
Do you think they can win the championship without Jaylen Brown being 100%?
Without 100%? Yeah, I do. Like, I'll put it at 85%. I think you can do it with an 85% Jaylen Brown, because the rest of this team has just been that good this year. But that also is saying, like, what are the odds of getting 4 straight series of Porzingis being healthy?
True.
Like, that's a big question, because he has not played over 7 games in a postseason throughout his entire career. And the good news is, like you said, he looked like probably the second most consistent player in this team for the last 3 months of the year. Did not miss any games really because of the leg with his offseason surgery. Like, he had that illness situation that caused him to miss a longer stretch. But beyond that, had been, as healthy as he'd been throughout his entire career. So I like the odds of him this year much more than last year of, like, getting through, 3 or 4 series here. But it's still, kind of a coin flip there if you just look at his history. So if Jaylen's going to be hurt, you have less margin for error in other parts of the roster. But I still think if Jaylen give you, not all-star level, but, 20 points a night, some solid defense, decent mobility to chase around some of the tougher scorers in the opposition, I think still there's enough left around him on this team to fill in those gaps and still get them to the finish line.
All right, talking about Brian Robb, he's of Mass Live. Celtics will begin the playoffs on Sunday versus Orlando or Atlanta. Just getting back to Luke Kornet for a minute here. Can you just talk about his journey being with the Celtics, then playing in the G League, right? Coming back last year. Now he's very good on the pick and roll. He's a good defender. He's well-liked in the locker room. I mean, you just mentioned they're going to need him early on, potentially, if it is Orlando with the bigs that they have. But can you talk about this guy's journey? And, like, when we look back on these teams, right? Like, I'm watching the Celtic City documentary right now, and I see, like, Greg Kyed on the sideline, right? Like, I see all these backup bigs. Like, sure. Kornet's been a solid player, and I know that Tatum and Brown both love him.
Yeah, he's been rock solid for them off the bench for a guy and he's been here for 4 years now, Joe, which is kind of crazy to think about because it has been a wild journey for him. And I'll have something coming up out on him, like kind of a longer feature chronicling this on Mass Live in the next week or so. Give you a sneak peek of that. But it is for a guy that, came into the league as a shooter and then has kind of remade his career on the fly here, knowing that, okay, the Celtics have crazy good shooters all over the floor. They don't need another center to shoot, but so Kornet can do everything else well. He can screen well. He can be the passer in the middle of the lane. He can offensive rebound with the best of them. And defensively, I think he's improved a lot too, where he's, they can hide him on guards that can't shoot the ball well, and he can kind of hold his own well year after year now, to the point where, his net rating is as good as anyone on the team right now, which is wild to think about for a guy that was, like you said, was in the G League 3 years ago. So for him now to get to a point where he is an integral part of this team's rotation is just a phenomenal journey for him. And the fact that the Celtics have him at the veterans minimum while doing this has been a huge deal this year, because it's allowed them to take pressure off Porzingis, rest, give those guys the rest they need while still winning games, because Kornet just seamlessly fills in. And it'll be an interesting subplot this off-season, Joe, because, like, Kornet is going to be a free agent, and Al Horford's going to be a free agent, and we all know how much crazy money this team has tied up in the current roster. But can you afford to lose Kornet now? Like, probably not. But Kornet has not made more than the minimum pretty much his entire career, so he will understandably be looking for, I imagine, a good contract this offseason. And the Celtics, you could make a good case, will we'll have to give it to him because he's been that big and that important for big man depth.
You mentioned pressure there a couple of times. The Celtics have a chance to do something that hasn't been done since 1969 and win back-to-back. They also have a chance to win multiple championships, something that when you look at it, Larry Bird didn't win back-to-back, right? Paul Pierce didn't win multiple championships, and Kevin Garnett. Like, do you think that they realize that right now, that the last team to do it was that 69 Celtics team with Bill Russell? Like, do you think they know that, and that it's at least because one of the detailed things this year is they didn't miss any steps, right? Like, they did the whole season. They had their little struggle going 13-11. They finished off 29-6. Like, they broke NBA records. Do you think they know what's at stake here, going back to back, being that first team since then, and being the first team to do it since the Warriors?
Yeah, I think the legacy part of it is certainly in play there, and I think there's a probably realization, Joe, across the roster, like, this is probably going to be it for this group, like, as a full core together, like the top 8 or top 9 together, realistically. Like, we'll see how things shake out in the offseason in terms of what new ownership can afford, but by and large, I'd be a stunner to me if they can run it back again with this group, given what the costs are. So, like, they know that they're in a certain place right now in the league with this group where they can write themselves down in Celtics history and take a special spot in Celtics history. And from what I've heard, they've been watching Celtic City, collectively at points. And so that's something where that they're kind of seeing it firsthand. And now the road is going to be much tougher this year. I think they're prepared for that, and they're ready for that with how they've kind of locked in here over the last couple of months, because it was clear in December and January the doldrums are there, and they were just a lot of good people across the roster were going through the motions. But now when they knew it's like, okay, we can't just lean on last year to get us through this. Like, we actually need to be playing well here down the stretch, and because we're not going to be able to just snap in if we're playing like crap for the last 3 or 4 months of the year, playing mediocre like we were in December and January. So they've managed to do that. They're by and large healthy here outside of Jaylen's situation. We don't know. Again, that could be a situation where it lingers over them, or it could be a situation where he's fine after a couple weeks of rest and moving like he should be. So either way, they know they have a tremendous chance here. I think the expectation is to get to the finals at the very least. And despite how good the Cavs have been this year, I still don't think that's a team that scares them at all. So I think anything short of the trips to the finals for them would be a pretty big disappointment.
Well, my prediction's Orlando. Then it's the Pistons. I already have the Knicks out of the playoffs, and I already have Tom Thibodeau fired, and I already have Mike Malone as the new coach. Oh, yeah. And then I have the Pacers knocking off the Cavs.
It is like the Cavs, it'll be fascinating to see, Joe, like their slump in the last month of the year where they kind of came back down to earth, and Donovan Mitchell is dealing with an ankle injury again. Like, if they play at that level against the Pacers, they could very well lose. Because as we saw last year, the Pacers have offensive firepower, and they're just a pain in the ass to guard over the course of the series. And I know the Celtics swept them there, but all those games were close. And so they almost have more playoff room performers on that team right now than the Cavs do. So that would definitely be a fun series to watch, assuming that the Pacers can get by the Bucks. But the East series, I do think. When does Isaiah Stewart get suspended in the Pistons-Knicks series? When does the fight come?
Oh, yeah. It's funny how, everybody raves or people give crap to Jason Tatum about his technicals. But when, like, Anthony Edwards can't play in a game, but then they rescind it so he can play in a game. Like, it's just, all that. Me and Skaz have been on the people who love Anthony Edwards stuff. Like, you know what I mean? They, like, sweat the guy, and it's just anyways. But, yes, when does that happen? That's a good question. I have Celtics Pacers. I don't know what's going to happen in the West yet, but I don't think Oklahoma City goes.
How early, like, you make it to the West Finals in your mind, do you think? Or do you think if... I guess they could see it's like the Warriors or something like that. I don't think the Grizzlies would beat them in the first round. Have any chance, but
I got either Lakers or Warriors.
Or Warriors. All right, I like that.
It's going to take the Warriors a little longer there, but yeah.
Yeah, they got a little more work to do first, but we could see, I think a Warriors, NBA is kind of loving the possibility of a Warriors-Lakers second round with the winner potentially going on to take on the Thunder there. But I'm kind of keeping my eye on the Clippers, too. I know Kawhi gets hurt every year, but for them to go into Golden State on Sunday and beat them to get that 5 seed was pretty impressive. And Denver's a mess, so I kind of expect the Clippers to win that series. And then, I don't know, maybe OKC will have a tough fight in the second round. We'll find that out. But West is going to be a lot of fun to watch, too. It's going to be great playoffs.
Speaking of that, how much money have the Suns wasted on head coaches?
More than me and you will ever dream of seeing in our lives, Joe. I think it's got to be, 3 head coaches in 3 years. I imagine they all like.
Well, Monty Williams had that.
Vogel. Yeah, Monty obviously had a pretty sizable deal. Vogel must have gotten at least a 3-year deal when he got hired initially, and Bud had, I think, maybe he was making like $12 million a year or something like that. I imagine that was 3 years. They were probably looking over $55-60 million of payout to those guys over the course of their contract at minimum.
Who wants that job?
I don't know, because what do you do there? Like, Durant's probably going to be gone, is my guess.
Oh, Beal is such a stiff, it's not even funny.
Yeah, exactly. And Beal is still going to be the worst contract in the league for 2 more years now. Like, the only way I think you get rid of that deal is like if you can convince some team to take you. Okay, you can take Durant, but you got to take Beal with him and give us. You don't have to give us as much stuff back, but like that's how we got to get out of this. So I don't know. It's an absolute mess. Devin Booker is good, but is never going to be a number one on a title team. I feel like at this point, given how the last couple of years have gone, and that they don't have any draft capital pretty much for the next decade. So that's a team that's just going to be scraping to get by in the West, I feel like, for the next 5 years or so.
Just one other Celtics question, because I don't know how important it will be, but they now have 2 first-round picks, right? They had to surrender their second-round pick. Do you think they'll select there? Will they try to get out of it because of the cap situation? Like, I love Brad Stevens having those kind of picks late in the draft. I just don't know how you get them on the payroll.
Yeah, it will be interesting to watch there. Like, I was a little bit surprised they kept, like, number 30 last year, to your point, Joe. Like, they obviously, like, by Baylor Sharman enough to get him there, and now that looks like, wow, that was like a bit of a bust for the first few months of this year. The kid's obviously shown something now, and maybe a potential rotation piece down the road in a couple years now. But they have 28. They have what essentially is another first-round pick, 32 from the Wizards, which they got in a trade a couple years ago. So those are 2 pretty good middle of the draft picks here. And my guess is they're going to take them because they just need cheap talent at the end of the roster at this point, because you don't have any route to get it in free agency beyond veterans minimum. They're not going to have the mid-level or anything like that with their payroll commitments now. And you don't have, eventually you're going to start being priced out of some of these guys mid to like bigger contracts on the roster, whether it's, Al Horford hanging up in a year or two, whether you're going to be able to afford Drew Holiday, Porzingis beyond this season, that remains to be seen, even like a Sam Hauser type. So my guess is they keep taking those picks unless they use one of these picks to potentially facilitate a deal to, unload a lot of money. But my guess is they want to just keep building the pipeline going forward and help maintain a contender, because they're not going to have many avenues to do that, 2 or 3 years down the line when the repeater taxes add up more and more, and the cover becomes a little bit more bare around Tatum.
All right, B-Rob, I was trying to tell all our listeners that, for 12 months, all we do is talk Patriots, right? And, like, the Celtics just won 60 games again. They tied a record for road wins. Like, they broke NBA records. They were the best clutch team in the league. Like, I don't know. We're watching something that is historical. And I don't know. Here on the night show from now until June, essentially, we are going to talk Celtics, and we are riding the train, baby. The season officially started. So for all those ignorant people that think they're not clutch and can't hit shots late and all they do is shoot threes, I would just say this might be the time of year you want to watch and go against that narrative, because They literally broke records this year. So we're going to do that every night here, B-Rob. Every night.
I like it, Joe. I mean, again, appreciate it while you can, because I don't think we're going to see this group together beyond this year.
Well, didn't Wick say no team in the NBA will play back-to-back apron tags?
I believe that were his quotes, and if that is true, then yes, there will be quite significant changes this summer. But for now, the back-to-back opportunity is there. If they win again, Joe, does that make it? Are you going to break up a team that's gone back-to-back?
Hell no.
Maybe it gets a little tough for you. I don't know.
Three-peat, baby.
Three-peat.
We'll be talking Michael Jordan. Imagine going from the Celtics can't win to could match Michael Jordan.
That'd be quite the swing. Quite the swing.
Well,
but they got a long way to go there. It's not going to be. It's going to be fun. I mean, last year was not a walk in the park, but pretty close to it in the playoffs. This year, the drama. I'm excited to see like a really it's like a chess match. The chess match is actually going to be in play here in the final rounds of the playoffs here, because those teams are going to be. It's going to be some tough matchups for sure.
All right. Well, I hit up your baseball boys, Cotillo and Smitty, because I'm wondering what position player is going to have to pitch for the Red Sox tonight.
Oh yeah, what we got to score right now?
It is 16-1.
Ooh.
Yeah. Wonder. Yeah. Not good, huh? Not good.
And they're playing at a minor league ballpark too. That's a tough look around there. But hopefully, the Celtics will be able to be a distraction for the Red Sox. Once the playoffs start here, things keep going in that direction.
We need it. All right, it all starts Sunday. Brian Robb will be talking to you all playoff long. Appreciate you, bud.
All right, thanks, Joe.
You got it. He's Brian Robb, everybody. Mass Live. Excellent job, our guy. Take a quick break here, get a look at the headline. And what do they have coming up here on the other side? I had something. Oh, the Bruins. What's going on there? Potentially new coach names? Is there movement in the front office? We'll do that next here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
The Red Sox lose tonight. 16-1. Red Sox lose. They had 6 hits as a team. Christian Campbell went deep. Abreu, Story, Sable, Duran all had hits. The pitching was the problem tonight. Tanner Houck, 2 1/3, 10 hits, 11 earned, 2 home runs. Fulmer came in. He gave up 3 earned. Weissert Winkowski did pretty well. And then Bernardino gave up another one late. So Tanner Houck has now struggled in starts. He did well in the last start, actually. But he has struggled against the Rays. And, well, I don't know, since you had Garrett Crochet yesterday and Tanner Houck going today, who has struggled, wouldn't you think they wouldn't want to pitch Tanner Houck against the Rays because of some of his insufficiencies versus that team? And, well, Skaz, that's what I think they should have done. And I think they learned the hard way today.
Yeah, I think I totally understand what you're saying, Joe, and we've talked about this off the air. You've brought up that this is something the Red Sox have done in the past, where if they have a pitcher, a Jake Peavy, or
Wakefield was big
Wakefield
on that.
Or one of these guys where there's just a team where the matchup for some reason isn't in his favor. And for some reason it seems like Tanner Houck might have that problem with the Rays. And you said, well, don't you think it's kind of on the team to, work around that or try and get him a more, favorable starting, pitching place in the rotation? To me, the only issue with that, Joe, is number one, it's April 14th. Number two, it's Tanner Houck. He's supposed to be good. I thought we've been told that he's pretty good. He's got a great array of, his 3 pitches. He's been working on the 4th one for 5 years, it feels like, or whatever the story is with Tanner Houck these days. But having a guy in your rotation who you're going to have to lean on who has a real thorn in his side that's in your division, that's the Tampa Bay Rays, I just find that's a tough place to put Alex Cora and the rest of the roster in. If you're trying to avoid Tanner Houck starts against another AL East team, especially the Rays, you're already in a bad spot if you're maneuvering it that much. This team, it's frustrating, Joe. We were sold that this team is going to be competitive. Drive line, Joe. Drive line. They're going to hit for power. These guys look at all the bats in the lineup. Bregman, Devers, Cassis, the next coming of Babe Ruth or Jimmy Fox at first base. Haven't seen it, Joe. Have not seen it. I really enjoyed the cold weather takes last week. The bats were awfully quiet because it was chilly out, Joe, which only happens in April.
It was cold.
Never happens in October when baseball matters.
The snow comes down in June.
I wonder what the temperature was in Tampa Bay tonight. Just out of curiosity.
Is it warm in Florida?
Was
it in Florida,
Joe,
by the way?
Not an expert, but I think warmer in Florida.
Where was this game again?
This was in Florida, Joe. Minor league ballpark.
Yeah. Well, they lost. It's not good. I just thought, you know what? I'm at the point now, Skez, where I don't want to blame Driveline. I'm done with Driveline. Because I think instincts are a thing. I might be taught something, but I have the instincts to do something else.
I have a question, Joe. Is 20 errors good?
Is like 69 strikeouts good? In how many games?
Is leading the league in errors good?
Well, they upgraded their defense, right?
I was going to say, Joe, I thought we got the worst defender in baseball, I was told by a lot of people, off of the field for the Red Sox, and now they brought in a bona fide, legit glove into the infield to replace him. Yeah, are we allowed to blame? Is that on the players, all those errors? Is that on the manager for not having his guys ready to go and in the right spots? Who are we allowed to blame for the Red Sox issues?
Defense. Oh, who do we blame on that one?
Who are we allowed to blame, Joe?
You know what? I blamed Cora for starting Houck. I'm going to blame Cora. You know why? If I played infield in my lifetime and was a coach,
You get Bobby V out there showing you how to field some grounders.
I would, actually. I get the Funko out. I just said Funko.
Yeah, Funko Pop.
I get the Funko bat. Oh, yeah. I'd have the guys on their knees, dude, taking grounders off their chest and throwing it off their knees.
Think they're like Fungo torpedo bats now?
Oh, I wonder.
I want one of those.
No, dude. Again, I never played at the level of Major League Baseball. But do you know that we used to have a coach that used to make us play on our knees? We only could, I know. Yes, laugh about it, everybody. But Parkway Little League, we used to play on our knees. And this guy would hit rockets at us off our chest.
You think that's still happening out there, Joe? You think that's allowed these days?
Yeah, that was...
I'm thinking of like Happy Gilmore standing in the batting cage, just taking him off the chest. That's basically what you guys were doing,
This
Joe.
was early 90s, so probably 92.
So he hadn't even seen Happy Gilmore yet. He didn't even have the inspiration.
No, 92, 93, nope.
He may have been the inspiration.
He would tell us all to get on our knees, which we all did. And then we would, like me, I played third at the time, and then they moved me to first. And they would just hit ground balls off my chest and my belly. And I was like flopping everywhere. It's a flopper. It sucked. But you know what? We learned how to keep the ball in front of us. And then bare hand. Anytime a ball hits you in front of you, what do? Bare hand. So I don't know what they're doing. Like, I played first, right? So I watched Cassis the other night get a ground ball for a double play, but he couldn't get the ball out of his glove and then slipped on the grass. What are you working on, Jimmy Fallon lookalike guy? Like, it's a transfer. All you do is, when you warm up, all you do is play catch and you work on your transfer, right? Sometimes I didn't even catch the ball. I just secured it off my glove to get it out of the, What are they doing? What are they doing?
Not impressed with Romy Gonzalez's defense at first
and
base?
He sucks. That guy can't find the bag if you throw it at him. We got the musings coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more.
stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
All right, Marty's Musings here on 98.5 The Sports. 3 is Bob Dylan. What should we do first?
Give me the kids at the card show, Joe. Let's start there.
I am a vendor. I set up cards, graded cards, loose cards, packs, you name it. I do a show mostly in Woburn at the Best Flippin', they call it. It's at the Crown Plaza next to the Scoreboard Sports Bar and Grill. I set up a table from generally 8 to 2, let's call it. So on a Saturday from 8 to 2, when they have shows, I'm there. But I have to set up early. You saw me preparing the night before, guys. So, it's a nice little, display of cards. Well, I have this value bin, which things that are under $20. And it's not the first, second, or fifth time I've yelled at a kid. I don't want to be the guy that yells at kids, first off. No. But what I have learned, and I've shared so the last one of the musings I did previously was I agreed to a deal with a kid on a card. I shook his hand, and then he backed out of the deal. And the guy that was next to him, I go, "Are you his dad?" He goes, "No." And I go, "I'm going to teach you a lesson." And Ardiak, if he's listening, I would happen to be next to him. He's a Rozzy guy. But I happened to be next to him when I yelled at that kid the first time. I go, "I'm going to teach you a lesson. When you shake somebody's hands, you better go through with the deal." Like, imagine me, kind of like Tommy, kind of like Chris Farley and Billy Madison. I'll turn this damn bus around like that guy, So when everybody looked at me like, "You were in the right. You should have yelled at him," I go, "I feel bad now. The guy's going to yell. I think Joe yelled at me, right?" So here I am talking to Ardiak again. It's him. He comes over and he brings the noise, And these kids are going through my value bin, Skaz. And they're taking the stuff out and looking at it and then just throwing it back in, not lined up right. And I go, "Hey, get back here. Put that stuff back. What do you just touch stuff?" And then when they picked up, they dropped them all over the floor. And I go, "You break it, you buy it." I was pissed. So I yelled at kids again. But am I in the wrong? You touched my stuff. You screwed it up. You dropped it. And you didn't care about it. And I had to yell at you. So I feel like I did a justice in the world. Who's going to tell those kids not to do that? When I was a kid, if we did something wrong in the neighborhood, let's say we're playing basketball outside and a car comes by and somebody chirps at the car and the guy gets out. You chirped at him. Sorry. They would teach us a lesson, bro. That ever happened to you?
That was a chirper, Joe.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you chirp, you deserve what you get. This was you ever go in somewhere and they're people looking at you and no, they just put the cards back the way you found them. Where's there's so much disrespect. But I hate this label them as the kids, but it's like anyone under 13. They're the worst. And you know what? Somebody negotiated with me over $1.
Out on that.
You know what I said? And I go, "Hey, how bad do you need that $1? What are you going to do with that $1? I go, I wanted $5 for 2 cards. He goes, "I'm really at 4, man." And I looked at him. I go, "What are you going to do with that $1? I go, "Do you have a?" And you know what? He had a $5 bill in his hand. So I'm like, "Do you really need that $1, bro?" And you know what I said to him? I go, "All right, you want if we do the deal, are you going to do the deal?" He didn't do the deal. So I just is it me? Do I not relate to kids? I don't have kids.
Have you ever yelled at an adult at one of these events, Joe?
Never. They're all proper. Hey, excuse me. Do you mind if I look through this?
So where are the parents is my question.
Probably at the scoreboard. No, just imagine. No, but remember us when we were kids? Parents would drop us off. We're going to be, especially baseball. How long's a baseball game? We don't know, right? The time. That's the problem in the world. Well, soccer, at least I never played soccer, but when you drop a kid off for soccer, it's 2 hours, right?
Hour and a half, 2 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You drop a kid off at a card show and it's 8 to 1. You don't have to pick those kids up till 1 o'clock, right?
I've been left at the baseball field before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it happens.
So when you ask where are the parents, they get hey kids, I'm going to drop you off at the card show today. They must be like, yeah, like
no rules.
No rules. Oh, there's rules at my table. I almost just swore. I almost said there's rules at my table, mother bleep. Just put the cards back nicely, will you? That's why I have protectors on the. And when someone goes, hey, how much for this? I go, I don't know. What do you think it is? Do you see the price on there? Is it you're not happy with the price? You negotiate? You're going to look it up on the app? What do you want to do? You want to negotiate? What do you want? I don't want to yell at the kids. But just don't drop my cards. They drop slabs on the ground. What if it broke?
Out on that.
Would they have paid for it?
You got to.
I would have waited for their parents. Has that ever happened to you? Someone waits for your parents to come?
No. My dad wouldn't. He wouldn't come if that was the case. No shot. Yeah, no. You're on your own in that one.
I don't mean to yell at the kids. I really don't.
Just quickly, Joe, on the chirper. You mentioned that when you were a kid.
Yeah.
One time driving back, high school practice or whatever, I used to carpool with two kids that lived right by me. And my brother drove a Pontiac Grand Am when he was, in high school, college. And we were on the street over from my street. And we're in a Jeep, my buddy's Jeep, driving back from practice. And I see same color, same car coming right at us, Pontiac Grand Am. So I'm like, oh, it's my brother. So I gave him the double birds as he drove by. Wasn't my brother. Guy immediately bangs a Yui, follows us. My buddy was driving, pulls into my buddy's driveway. There's a wraparound driveway in the back. Guy followed us right into the backyard. Both of them are freaking out. I'm like, it's all right, guys. Like, I got it. Like, hey, my fault. I'll handle it. So I jump out of the back of the Jeep. Guy, I don't know if he opened the door, opened the window, and he goes, what the hell was that about? Who are you? And I'm like, hey, man, I'm really sorry, but we live right around the corner. My brother drives the same exact car. I thought you were my brother. I just flipped you off. He laughed, said, all right, make sure it's not me next time, and then drove away.
You know what? I like that. That's good communication.
But I never felt like, this guy's going to beat me up or anything like that, but I was like, this one's on me. I got to own this one.
Yep. And you did. And what happened?
Yeah, he just laughed and drove away.
Dude, that's happened to me.
He was pissed, though, Joe.
That's happened to me before.
He was pissed.
I mean, dude, we used to throw eggs at people's houses. Think about the price of eggs nowadays.
Oh, yeah. That's a waste of money right there.
But no, I've been confronted before. Like, hey, did you do that? I go, no, man, I don't know what you're talking about. And then they get real pissed. And I go, hey, man, if I did it, I'd tell you I did it. What are you going to do about it? But I didn't do it. So what do you want to do something about it? That's how we were, Hey, man, if I did it, I'd tell you I did it because I want to know what you're going to do about it. But I didn't do it. So what do you want to do about it? And then they'd be like, all right, man.
It's a tongue twister there, Joe.
I told you, we lived near the golf course. So we had tennis rackets as kids. Well, I didn't realize that, like, when we hit the cranapples down, they were going to fall on the houses that were on West Street. I thought we were so high up on the hill that we were going to hit them into the golf course. You know what I'm saying? Didn't realize there was like a cookout going on, and we're imagine having a tennis racket and whacking cranapples towards the golf course, but it's landed on all the houses that are on West Street.
It's staining people's clothes, staining people's siding.
Cars came up both sides of the hill. Look, and we were like, oh. And they came up, who's hitting the cranapples? We're like, I don't know, man. And we were like, I don't know, bro. Wasn't us. And we have literally tennis rackets up and down the street. I don't know, man. Anyways, that was so for those that lived on West Street and got cranappled, it was us. We just never told you. What are you gonna do about it? What was the other stuff I had?
The Last of Us, Joe?
Ah, yes. The debut of The Last of Us last night. I liked the episode, but you know what I'm not liking? Ellie. I think Ellie thinks that she's invincible. Oh, spoilers. No spoilers? Do you think people have seen it yet?
I would say you're fair to spoil anything from the first season. I would say don't spoil anything
I would say
from
this.
Last night.
I don't like Ellie's attitude.
Yes, Joe, I think that's the point. She's being a rebellious teen.
And I think that Pedro Pascal is having terms with separation. Is that the word? He's having separation anxiety.
He's struggling.
Yeah. And, incident happened. He got involved.
An incident, yeah. Yes.
She got mad.
An incident.
But, why is she mad at him? Because she thinks she can handle herself?
I think it's more that he hasn't told her the truth.
Oh, so she knows that he hasn't told it?
I think
I'm not aware of that yet.
I don't think anyone's. I think that's kind of what they're.
So you think that when she walked away, when they asked, "Is there anything else I should know about regarding the Fireflies?" and he said no, she knows he's lying.
Yes,
but we're not aware of that yet.
Yes.
Okay.
Or she has an inclination that he's lying. Now, Catherine O'Hara with kind of a surprise appearance last night.
You know why I liked it? Because it was like a therapy session. And I just, things that we have to say. You killed my husband. Oh, did I spoil that? And I hate you.
She's good.
Oh, Catherine O'Hara?
Great.
Oh, imagine, because out there they don't have money, so they have to do trades. Did you see what they traded?
Yes.
Have you ever paid for a therapy session with marijuana?
Personally, I can say no, Joe. I have not. Not a bad option to have, though.
Hey, listen, I'm a little short this week. How about a bag of grass?
They've been paid in that.
Where are they getting grass out there in Wyoming?
They're just growing it, Joe.
In Wyoming?
Yeah, why not?
In the snow?
Yeah, you got buildings inside.
Oh, that's
heaters.
true.
Yeah.
But do they have the electrical or I don't know?
Priorities, Joe. You can find a way.
Did you see the bear bloater?
Yes. I was kind of hoping we're going to see that thing in action.
Dude. Cocaine bear? No.
Bloater bear.
Bloater bear. Where's Jeremy? We got to text him that. That could be a real, like spinoff. Bloater bear.
What was your third thing, Joe?
I saw the new Bob Dylan movie this week.
Timothy Chalamet.
Dude, he was awesome. No. Blown away by how good the movie was. Again, I love music and I like stories. I thought he was great, dude. And the girl who played Joan Baez, outstanding.
I've heard she's almost like kind of the star of the movie.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 96, dude. So I hope you don't think I'm overrating it. But speaking of this, because I was with Jeff Williams yesterday, did you know it was the anniversary of the We Are the World song?
Your favorite, Joe. Your favorite.
And
this is one of those anniversaries that comes around multiple times a year, it feels like, for some reason.
And, for me, I'm being serious. I never was a Bob Dylan fan. I don't know why I never. Why I think I didn't like Bob Dylan? He was very controversial. So I think I just stayed away from it because I wanted to just enjoy music. Now that I look back on it, I liked a lot of controversial music. I really did. But I don't think I cared and knew Bob Dylan. I just kind of get it, folk, electric, Vietnam, that. I don't know how else to explain it, 60s, 70s, just he's writing songs, just the Traveling Wilburys I loved. And then the We Are the World happened, and, I started to find him very funny. Yeah, the world. There's a choice making. We're saving our lives. And again, I always thought that Bruce Springsteen was a Bob Dylan knockoff. And I found out yesterday that one of my favorite songs, Tweeter and the Monkey Man, is about Bruce Springsteen. Because they talk a lot about New Jersey. And as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, wait, Bob Dylan's from Duluth, Minnesota? I thought he was from Jersey or New York. Well, he was. He ended up moving there. But I would suggest watching it, everybody. What else did I do this weekend? Card show, yelled at kids, watched Bob Dylan, worked here yesterday. Oh, I had great Dave's Hot Chicken yesterday. So it's the last full show before Mania.
What are you looking forward to most, Joe, this week?
Outside of wrestling, this might be a little corny. There's nothing better than sitting at the blackjack table with Andy Wong. I'm being dead serious.
I don't doubt you for a second.
The guy works, he owns the Kowloon restaurant. Right now, do you know that Sam Hauser's there right now? Doing a big autograph show and signing tonight. So Andy Wong works 6 days a week. He gets like 1 day off a year. He's taking Easter off. And so we're going out, man. But him I love it, dude. He chirps everybody at the blackjack table. And it's all in good fun, So, yes, the number one thing that I am thinking about. The other thing is, I'm going to go. I'm not going to tell anybody, though. Because I don't want it. I want all the food. I want all the food. Skaz, you know what I want? I want a chef that slices ham and prime rib for breakfast. I want that kind of buffet. I want eggs. I want bacon. I want sausage. I want hash browns and home fries. I want an English muffin. I want a bagel. I want raisin toast. I want a croissant. What bread haven't I mentioned yet? I want it all. Did I mention a crepe yet? I want that. I want a waffle. Pancake French toast. I want whipped cream on it. I want all the grapes and strawberries and all that with syrup. If they have bowls of cereal, I want cereal. Whether it's Fruit Loops, Corn Pops, Frosted Flakes, Count Chocula, Lucky Charms, in. I want every breakfast item that they possibly make, I want to eat.
Intern Trent with a great observation. We've been sports for 3+ hours, Joe. Intern Trent saying this may be the longest we've gone into the show during his entire internship with just mentioning food now in the last hour of the show.
Did I miss any breakfast foods?
I think you ran.
Is there an omelet station?
And there you go.
Is there? I want an omelet. What kind of omelet would you get?
Probably just like a ham and cheese or
I'm a ham and cheese omelet guy.
Yeah, simple.
No veggies.
No. On vacation? Come on.
Are they gonna have mimosa? I want a mimosa. Can I have that? I want a mimosa, an apple juice.
Are you like a mimosa on the plane guy?
No. I don't like to use the bathroom on the plane.
I respect that.
You know that I watched what I ate tonight because I don't want any incidents. I don't know how I'm going to fit in the plane bathroom. Has anybody ever had that problem? Did you ever hear the story of Andre the Giant?
I've heard that story, unfortunately.
Actually, the Big Show had to take a dump on a plane. He doesn't fit in a bathroom. So you know how they carry mail in those big things? He stepped inside it and went to the bathroom. Now, I don't know what they did
I'm
with
out.
it.
I'm out on that, Joe.
But I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, we don't need another Dave Matthews Band situation on our hands where they're emptying the plane in the middle of the air.
So just so you know, I'm going to go to the brunch buffet. I'm going to this brunch buffet, and I'm going directly to WrestleMania. Do you know that we have a suite for the four of us with our own bathroom?
That's elite. That's elite right there.
We travel in style, bro. Did I miss a breakfast item? Because I want it if I did. Oh, muffins? They have muffins? Maybe that'd be a funny social video is how much food Joe mentioned about his buffet. Am I missing anything at a buffet, anybody? Oh, God, I can't read the chat now. All right, well, we ran late. That's your musings. Did we already do the headline? All right, we'll go to break. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening.
Let's go to the phones. Tim's in the car. Hey, Tim. Hey, Tim, you're on the air.
Oh, excellent. Sorry, I took you off speaker. So let's talk about Las Vegas food for a minute. Joe, how many times have you been to Las Vegas?
This will be my third.
It'd be a third time. All right. So have you always been on the Strip? Have you been in Old Vegas? What's your situation?
I haven't done a lot of Old Vegas, but I have some places I do want to go off the Strip. But for the most part, I've been on the Strip.
Okay. So in terms of food, stayed in a timeshare a few years back. There's off of the Strip, not Old Vegas, like in between. There's this hotel called the Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable brunch.
Okay.
Unreal brunch. So like literally everything that you listed earlier, the biscuits, eggs, crispy bacon. I mean, this is as long, it's probably 50 feet long of a brunch buffet. So I highly suggest taking advantage of that.
All right. I already have a place that I'm going to.
Well, can you make a pit stop?
I could.
Just a thought.
How about this? This is what I want. This is what I want to know. Is where can I get are there any food trucks out there? Like where can I get street empanadas or dumplings or something? I want street food because I'm going to be walking 4 miles on the Strip.
Yeah, no, understandable. So I would say, man, there's not a lot of that. So when I go to Vegas, it's the blue-collar side of the Strip and the hoity-toity side of the Strip. Hoity-toity is Aria, Caesar, that whole nine. And then the other side is more like the Luxor, which is the Pyramid.
We're all standing in Mandalay Bay. Yeah, that's what we're...
Oh, okay. So you're on that end, which is way better than the hoity-toity side. So I haven't seen a lot of that because there's so many restaurants inside the casinos. However, I do think if you go to Old Vegas, you would find that. I mean, I've seen lobster at 3 a.m. You know what I mean?
Wow. Oh, I haven't thought.
Yeah.
How is the lobster? Is it like a Maine lobster out there, or is it a?
I don't think anything. Yeah, I think it's more of the weird shit, but just the fact that they do it.
We can't swear, bro. Now, I will say the lobster sell anywhere not here. It looks funny, so I know he swore. But you ever had lobster in Florida before?
No, Joe, I don't eat seafood.
You don't?
No. I'm saying not unless it's cold water. I'm not. Yeah.
I got a lobster in Miami once, and I went, "What's this?"
Yeah, no thanks.
And they're like, "Lobster." I go, "It's white." This isn't lobster. What are we doing here? Because it wasn't. You know what though? I'd love Skaz. I'm going 5 days, bro. I'm doing 2 nights of Mania. I'm definitely going to the pool for 2 days, and then I'm probably not going to sleep the other day. We have a dinner planned, a group dinner.
I got a question, Joe. Are you you're going to be on the West Coast? Will you try and get an In-N-Out burger?
Oh yeah, it's already planned. Yeah.
Oh, so that's done.
Well, yeah.
So In-N-Out's something that so I've never had In-N-Out. Maybe when I was younger and went to California, I had it once, but not that I remember.
So I thought about doing it. I'm going to WrestleCon on Saturday. WrestleCon is essentially like a card show for wrestlers. I thought about not getting breakfast and just getting In-N-Out for lunch, going to WrestleCon, then WrestleMania. Because at least I'll have a burger and fries in me. The other thing is, maybe I'll get it after WrestleMania. But I kind of want to go to I kind of want to see what's going on in the lounge, There's a lot, dude. They're expecting 100,000 wrestling fans. When I went to New Orleans, it was lit. Kevin Nash had a party. I tried to get in. Matt Hardy was doing things on Bourbon Street that I'm starting to get excited.
What wrestler would you be most excited to see at an after party? You'd be like, "Oh, this now we're talking."
fanboy much, but
I'm talking more from like a party aspect.
It's got to be Stone Cold Steve Austin, right?
You think he's there? He lives like.
Would I chug a Steve Meister with him?
You'd have to.
Yeah.
If he asked, come on.
What if the Undertaker wanted to take like Jaeger shots in?
You think those guys are still going hard?
Undertaker, yes.
Stone Cold?
He's got his own beer.
Gotta be endorsing.
If I had to drink Hulk Hogan's beer, would I do it?
I don't think so.
Brother. He sucks now, too. If Rob Van Dam was there, I'd smoke weed with him. Big weed guy. If Mike Tyson's there, I want to smoke weed with him, too. And Ric Flair. I told you, we ever talk about this before? Who was like who would you want to like smoke with? I think mine was Ric Flair, Mike Tyson, and I think it might have been Woody.
There you go. That's a good group right there. Woody, I think him and like Don Henley are like good boys now, or is down in what's he in Hawaii or something, growing his own stuff.
It's not legal there. Believe that? You can't. It's not legal in Hawaii. Legal in Vegas, though, from what I gather.
Yes,
they have weed bars there.
Yes, my father was the one to let me know about that.
All right. Some sad news to pass along. Probably not the best transition right now. But former Patriots tight end Don Hasselbeck has passed away at the age of 70. He was a tight end for the Patriots. He's also the father of Matt and Tim and Nate Hasselbeck. Has passed away at the age of 70. Matt Hasselbeck, it's with deep sorrow that we share the passing of our father. We want to thank our parents, neighbors, and all the medical professionals who came to his aid. He was a great father, husband, grandfather, friend, coach, player, coworker, artist, mentor, and storyteller. Despite being an All-American at Colorado and a Super Bowl champion with the Raiders, we are most proud he was a leader of our family. 6'7" hole in our hearts. He'll be missed by so many, beyond grateful. So, Hasselbeck was a second-round pick out of Colorado in 1977. Spent 7 years with the Pats, played 83 with the Raiders after a trade from the Patriots and won a Super Bowl ring. Blocked the extra point attempt in the Raiders' Super Bowl win over Washington. Finished his career with the Vikings, had a season with the Giants, played 123 games, 107 receptions, 1,500 yards, 18 touchdowns. Of course, his sons, Matt and Tim, played quarterback in the NFL and went to Xaverian High School. So Don Hasselbeck has passed away at the age of 70. We'll have more coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox lose 16-1 tonight. It wasn't good. It's not good. Tanner Houck struggled. Paige Bucher drafted by the Wings, number 1 overall in the WNBA draft. Suns, they fire Mike Budenholzer. Red Sox lost 16-1. Alex Cora did take accountability, so said they weren't ready to play, and he takes the heat. So you asked to blame somebody? There we go. Blaming Cora. Celtics begin their big run. What else do we do? Oh, I just didn't mention the Bruins quickly. You think Zdeno Chara is going to be added to the fold here?
A lot of conflicting reports, Joe. Some saying, stuff on the horizon for Wednesday. Others saying status quo will continue in Boston. I tend to lean towards, that line of thinking more. Maybe Chara does get brought in as just another voice in the room. I don't know.
I'm fine with that.
Fine with that.
And then Peter Laviolette is one of the names.
Local guy.
Was with Providence in the past.
I think he's from Easton.
Yeah, you're right, he is.
Westfield State.
So keep your eyes on that. Adam Vinatieri spoke about his departure as a free agent in 2006. Quote, Mr. Kraft and I had a wonderful conversation last year when I came back. We cleared the air on how it all happened. He thought that I just wanted to find a new place. That was absolutely not the situation. I had 10 years with New England and was never a free agent. After the 10th year when I became a free agent, I didn't want to leave. Just wanted a fair deal. Negotiations took a different way, and that's different people's philosophies on how they manage the team or whatever. But I loved all my time here. To the day I die, there's a huge spot in my heart for the organization and the people of New England. No hard feelings at all, for sure. He left over like $500,000, dude. No hard feelings, bro. You were. Now, do I think he could have had the longevity in New England? No. If he wanted to play as long as he played, there's no way he would have done it here. But, Skaz, I will say this. Do I think they could have won in 06 and 07 with Vinatieri? I do. I do. I think if Vinatieri was on the 07 team, they didn't want to go to Gostkowski. He was young and inexperienced. They didn't want to go to him. I think if Vinatieri's there, they kicked that 47-yarder to go up. They would have went up what? What did they lose? 17-14? So they went up. It would have been 17-17 with Brady with the ball with a chance to win the game or overtime. I'm just hypothetical there, But do you think they should even be a fan vote for Adam Vinatieri? Like, slide his ass right in there, too.
Yeah, there is no one more deserving of the Patriots Hall of Fame than the Patriots Hall of Fame might not exist without Adam Vinatieri. Like, if we're being for real about it, like, that's how important he is to those, the start of the dynasty. There is, it's him. Maybe, the first couple, you don't win those games without Vinatieri. You might not be in the Super Bowl without Vinatieri.
They don't win without Brady and Belichick.
Of course.
They don't win without Vinatieri. They don't win without Ty Law. They don't win without Rodney Harrison. They don't win without Corey Dillon.
Seymour.
They don't. Bruschi.
Willie
McGinnis was the all-time sack leader in the playoffs. Like, how do you leave him out? You know what I mean? Like, do they win without Julian Edelman?
Not against Atlanta.
True. Do they win without Deion Branch?
No. It's Brady Spanky.
And they didn't win with Moss, Welker, Mankins.
Solder get one?
Yeah. Yeah, because remember, he ended up signing with the Giants.
It's the biggest contract ever, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
Do you know who found Adam Vinatieri?
Is it Bill Belichick? Was it Ernie? Yeah, Belichick's got a new Ernie roaming the sidelines.
Bookmark that for a second.
Yeah.
Do you know who found Adam Vinatieri?
I do not.
Bill Parcells.
There you go.
He was kicking in Amsterdam.
Loved him so much, he abandoned him in the Super Bowl.
Loved him so much, he cut Matt Barr, who helped them win a Super Bowl with New York. No credit for Parcells.
Oh,
there, huh?
yeah. No, he gets. It's tough for me to give Parcells credit for finding players when all I hear about is how he couldn't pick the groceries. But he gets credit for every good player the Patriots had back then. It's tough for me to follow, Joe. Good players, Parcells picked them. Bad players, he wasn't in charge of the roster. It's very convoluted.
Bobby Greer was the general manager at the time. I believe that there was a pick between Rick Myrer and Drew Bledsoe. It was one went to Notre Dame, the other was from Walla Walla, Washington. Sounds like Parcells picked Bledsoe. That's at least what I heard. He also found Willie McGinnis from USC. Also found this running back from Pitt who was hurt named Curtis Martin. Found Ty Law.
Do you get credit for drafting Willie McGinnis 4th overall? Is that finding him, Joe? First round, 4th pick overall. Drew Bledsoe 1-1. You're finding these guys. They're not hiding under rocks. If you're a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, I'm just saying.
Rick Myrer was considered the top pick. I think they picked the right guy. Somebody had to make the pick.
Absolutely.
Somebody got to get credit.
Good picks, Parcells. Bad picks, he wasn't
Bobby
in charge
Greer.
of the groceries. So just trying to keep it straight.
He didn't want Terry Glenn. And at the time, Terry Glenn had a good rookie year. The rest of his not good. He called him she. Thinking back to some of those other drafts now. Yeah. Did you ever watch the Two Bills?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I told you I'm going to WrestleMania this week, right? You saw Jordan on the not even on the sideline. She's on the field.
She's on the field. Maybe drawing up plays.
Do you know the getup that she was wearing literally looks like something that like Logan Paul or Seth Rollins would wear to the ring?
Yeah, she was looking like the lady I sat next to on the plane that one time.
Yeah,
Joe.
Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
I believe she's in studio tomorrow.
No, it wasn't Sasha Banks. It was.
You met Sasha, didn't you?
No.
Or Mercedes Moné.
Mercedes Moné was the one that I said. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know their names. Yeah.
Mercedes, I don't want to spoil anything. Oh, did I spoil something? I heard that Mercedes Moné may be in this studio tomorrow.
Just for the record, left her completely alone. Didn't bother her at all. Just knew that she was famous and had to text Joe, and he immediately knew who it was.
Oh, yeah. Mercedes from, I want to say she's from Cambridge. She's the AEW champion, women's. And she's the CEO now. She used to be the boss. Now she's the CEO.
It's a promotion.
Won't be at WrestleMania because she's working for the competitor.
Do you think anybody from the competitor will be at WrestleMania?
Curious. I mean, they'll be there for WrestleCon for sure. I mean, it's the Mecca. If you're a wrestler, you're in Vegas that weekend because you want to make money because that's where all the wrestling marks are. I'm excited, man. I'll let you know about that buffet. I might just go live on Twitter.
Need a live In-N-Out review.
All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that. All right. Thanks to intern Trent. Good luck with your car, buddy.